This is Sky Sports Live.
Cup is back in the hands of Manchester United.
26 years ago, these two teams met in the FA Cup final and produced one of the dramatic finishes of all time. 3 goals came in the last 4 minutes. It was Arsenal who got the winner. Now they're back for one of the most eagerly awaited finals in recent memory. Here we go again. Who would have thought back in August that these two teams who have dominated English football for the past decade would be at Cardiff for the last game of the domestic season and neither would have a trophy yet. This is not the one that they would have chosen to win, but right now it could not be more important to them, both of them. We're in Cardiff for the last FA Cup final in the Millennium Stadium, and what a final. It's Arsenal against Manchester United. FA Cup final this afternoon, Champions League final Wednesday, and of course next weekend we've got the playoff finals. 5 huge games in 9 days, and the only place to see them all is here on Sky Sports. And what a way to start that sequence this afternoon with Arsenal and Manchester United. We're in the company of Teddy Sheringham, who scored a cup final goal with Manchester United as they went on their way to a treble in 1999, and Niall Quinn, whose career of course started with the Gunners. Before we speak, the teams. We knew that Thierry Henry would not start. Sol Campbell doesn't start either. He's amongst Arsenal's substitutes. It's Lauren, Toure, Senderos and Cole in the back 4. 5 in midfield. Pires and Reyes right and left. Fabregas, Vieira and Gilberto the middle 3. Dennis Bergkamp starts up front on his own. Manchester United leave out Ryan Giggs. Gary Neville doesn't start either. Both are on the bench. It's a back 4 of Brown, Ferdinand Sylvestre and O'Shea, playing in front of Roy Carroll. 5 in midfield, Ronaldo and Rooney right and left. Fletcher and Scholes protecting Roy Keane, and Van Nistelrooy is up front. Ted, have Manchester United won the first battle and forced Arsenal into an unfamiliar change?
I'm not sure about that. Systems don't always win games, but over the last few years we've come to expect a 4-4-2 situation of both teams. It so happens today it looks like the way that it goes 4-5-1 of both teams, and it'd be more of a European sort of continental tactical sort of game.
But that's a system now that Arsene Wenger has been hugely critical of during the course of the season, isn't it? And yet he starts that way today.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not so sure. I mean, the obvious thing I thought coming here was Van Persie was going to be given his chance in a big game, maybe alongside Dennis, but he hasn't done that. Obviously fearful perhaps of trying to dominate too much in the top half of the field, passes breaking down and find themselves under the cosh. A lot asked of this man today, up there on your own. We know he's not, he hasn't got the pace to go down the channels to hold the ball up, but what he does do, and I think is very important, he will see runners instantly. He will see them that split second before anybody else does, so as the ball gets played into him, he'll be setting things up. And I guess the way Arsene Wenger's gone about it today, he's given his players a licence to get up and get past him.
That's a job that you've had on a few occasions, Ted, isn't it? And a player I would have suggested out of the same mould as Dennis Bergkamp. Is Niall right?
Oh, fantastic player, and I think if anyone's going to play out there on his own, he's the perfect man to do that. They've got a lot of runners from midfield, from wide players, even fullbacks getting in. And if they make the right runs, Dennis will find them. He's the speciality in that.
What's a vote of confidence for Senderos, who's preferred ahead of Sol Campbell?
Yeah, and the great thing is we're not that surprised. I mean, that'll tell you where he's come this year. I mean, an absolutely incredible find. The find of the season for me in many ways, because Arsenal were flattened, almost not down and out, but certainly on the back foot when he came into the team. Said it every time I spoke about him. He has been phenomenal, and you know, there'll be lots more said about him in the years to come, but what's impressed me about him so much is to come in straight away and look the part, you know, from day one. It's
probably a good job Sir Alex Ferguson didn't name his team ahead of getting Ryan Giggs to sign that new 2-year deal, isn't it?
Well, it's a strange run. I think I know Ryan Giggs just signed a 2-year deal in the last few days as such, and for him to be left out of probably his first major game in over 10-12 years will be a big shock to him.
Well, Arsenal are back here for a final for the 5th time in 8 years. Arsene Wenger has won it on 3 different occasions, but he's also seen his team beaten by United this season 3 times. He says that doesn't matter today.
It's not really important, because on the day of a final I feel we have a needed quality to beat Man United, and I'm convinced of that anyway, and that's basically more important than what everybody else thinks about it. We are on a good run, we have a good momentum. We were with 10 games to go 5 points behind Man United, and we finished with 6 points ahead of them, so we've taken 11 points of Man United, so there's no obvious reason why at the moment we should think that Man United is better than us.
You feel they'll try and settle, will that be their priority, to take the emphasis off the football?
No, I don't think so. I have not a suspicious attitude. I feel that what happened at Old Trafford was not right at the time, but we forgot about that and we focused again on our game, and I have no suspicious attitude, because I feel the most important is how well we will play, and how we will play more than what Man United will do. We cannot influence that anyway.
No Thierry Henry, not necessarily just in terms of the football, but how big a blow is that generally, not having him on board?
We have to cope with that, and I still feel Thierry Henry would say exactly the same, that on the day we can beat Man United even without him. We have just to do everybody a little bit more and find more cohesion, fighting spirit, determined attitude, and on one day you can miss your biggest player, you still can win the game.
Even without him, no reason at all why Arsenal should be concerned about Manchester United, is there, when you look at the league table?
Well, yeah, they've finished above them. They've played ever so well in the last month or two. And also, I suppose, you look at their record, and I looked at it this morning, with Thierry Henry in the team and without him, they've actually done okay without him, you know, and it's not something that would have been a worry, I think, a year or 2 ago. It might have been a bigger one. But no, he knows what he's about. Just again, and I find it hard to see how he came to the decision just to play one. But he's obviously worked on it and he knows what he's doing. And I'd have to say, half agree with you, United will be far more comfortable with the 2 systems going head to head.
Nobody has won this trophy more times than Sir Alex Ferguson. It's 5 now. It was the first one he picked up at Old Trafford in '90. He followed up in '94, '96 and '99. And of course, Manchester United are the current holders of this trophy. Here is Sir Alex Ferguson with Jeff Shreves.
Sir Alex, no Giggs or Gary Neville. What's the thinking there?
Well, Gary is trained yesterday, certainly, and he is fit. But there's still a slight worry that in a 90-minute game, you never know, because he hasn't played for a few weeks, really. So we erred on the side of caution, and there's a possibility he could come on at some point.
What are you expecting now you're here?
Well, I hope it's a great game, and I hope we win. Straightforward. We all think that, you know, and it would depend on what camp you're in. But it should be a great game. There's enough good players on the pitch to suggest it could be a good game.
For you, will the weather have an effect?
Well, I don't know what it's like just now, but I'm prepared for it. It looks as if it could be a wet day. It may make the ball a bit quicker going over the turf. In the game with Newcastle, if you remember, in the first half it was quick, but the second half it became a slog when the rain started to get into the ground and it churned up a bit, you know, it became pretty heavy.
Where will this game be won and lost, do you think?
Well, it could be won in a number of areas, obviously, and it could be won by a mistake. Football games are like that. It's involving human beings, and therefore mistakes can happen. hopefully we don't make the mistakes that count, but someone's going to make mistakes in the game. But probably every player in the park will make a mistake at one point in the game. The important thing is to have a consistency that overcomes all small mistakes and all.
Well, thank you and good luck.
Thanks very much.
With all the big games that Wayne Rooney's played in already, no reason at all why this occasion should get to him, Ted. But what are the sort of emotions that he will be going through today?
One of excitement, I would think. Young lad looking to play his first ever FA Cup final. As you say, it won't worry him one little bit. Big shame for me that Thierry Henry's not playing, because you want to see the best players in the country playing, and he's definitely up there, and I expect special things from him today. I don't think we'll be upset about that. I think he's a fantastic player. He shows he's one of the best players already in the country, and I'd like to see him score today as well.
I know you would. You'd also probably like to see this fella score. There's been no love lost between he and Arsenal collectively over the past few seasons. Not the campaign that he wanted, but to go out with a goal and a win today, you can forget about what's happened then, can't you?
Yeah, terrible record that, and it's 16 goals in 26 appearances, and he's had a terrible season. But that just shows the class of the man, that he's had a bad season. You expect goals from him every time he plays, and I think Sir Alex.
Well,
will be
we and
expecting
United
goals.
haven't seen him often enough. That's the truth of the matter this season, isn't it?
No. You have these seasons every now and again where you have a few injuries and a few setbacks and that, but that goal record's that's not the worst you've ever seen, is it? It's a great record, and he's playing again today, so he'll expect to score, and Sir Alex will expect him to score.
Under grey skies, as you can see, they might have shut the roof, but it broke. We're at the Millennium Stadium for the FA Cup final. It's Arsenal against Manchester United, one of the most eagerly awaited finals in years, and it's up next, live. It's Cardiff this afternoon. We're live with Arsenal and Manchester United, who face up in the FA Cup final. As I said, under those grey skies, and there was a feeling this morning they might shut the roof. It was raining heavily then. They did start that process, got part way through it and had to give up because unfortunately the roof stuck. But they've got it open again, and what it has done is provided a greasy and arguably a very exciting surface. The two most successful teams in England over the past decade, the two most successful managers, absolutely nothing at all between them when it comes to this fixture. Nor is there in this competition. That'll change this afternoon, it has to. One will finish the season with nothing. And what a thought that would have been back in August. Teddy Sheringham and Niall Quinn, our guests this afternoon. Ted, what's your feeling?
I've got a funny feeling that you've got to go for Man United, really, just for the amount of goal scorers they've got on the pitch in Ruud van Nistelrooy, Rooney, Ronaldo, Scholesy. And you look at Arsenal's team and you see maybe Reyes and Reyes being their main goal scorers from wide areas, and just the pure fact of that they've got more goal scorers on the pitch, that they should come out on top.
Take the Villa result out, Niall. Arsenal were on fire at the back end of the season, so why does Ted have an argument?
I don't think he has one. I do, of course. I think it's the strength, not just the depth of Manchester United's strength, but how used they are to playing this type of system is probably what's going to be a factor. But having said that, the way Arsenal have zipped the ball around the last couple of months, once they got that Old Trafford thing out of their system, they've been breathtaking. And there's no reason, I believe, even though the system has changed slightly, that the likes of Reyes and Reyes won't be firing in behind people, getting into real dangerous areas. And I give Arsenal a really good chance today.
Does anything that's happened in the three fixtures this season, Ted, matter today?
I don't think so.
In the corner of your mind, is there some doubt if you're a gunner?
I don't think there can be. I think they're playing fantastic football, as Niall said. I've not seen a lot of them. I thought a big major factor would be Sol Campbell coming back today. He's not. They must think an awful lot of Senderos to do that. But it's a big game that Man United know all about, more than Arsenal, I think. And that's why I think you've got to give United the edge.
It wouldn't be the FA Cup final, of course, without our traditional anthem of Abide With Me, not the USA taunts that you can hear in the background, which are from the gunner's end, of course, rolling across the pitch in the direction of Manchester United, but Abide With Me. beautifully done. Catherine Jenkins, Hayley Weston-Rath and Alan Clayton. We are interactive, of course, this afternoon. If you wish to enjoy the facilities there, it's a service available to Sky Digital viewers. Push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. That's where you'll find that menu page. That's where you'll be able to enjoy our interactive service. It's the Millennium Stadium, it's the FA Cup final. It's Arsenal against Manchester United. Remember, Wednesday night, we're in Turkey. Our coverage starts at 6 o'clock of the Champions League final between Milan and Liverpool. I have to say, I think that these two teams who front each other up here today might have expected to have been playing in that final back in August, but that's not the way it's panned out. And for one, as we've said, there will be nothing this season. That's an extraordinary thought, Niall, isn't it?
Oh, long odds to think one of these teams would have won something at the start of the season, but Chelsea are the real reason for that. They've been fantastic and have given these lads a back seat almost. And of course, Liverpool's run then, I mean, that's been essential. But it's been a great year, and I think a fitting climax to the domestic year that we had two great sides like Manchester United and Arsenal fighting out for that desperate last piece of silverware.
It's certainly a proper final, isn't it, Ted?
Yeah, I think, I know Chelsea won't be happy with that, but Arsenal and Man United are two top teams over the last 10 years. And again, this year, it can be argued. And it's a fantastic final to look forward to.
As a face of real focus, Roy Keane. It's a 7th FA Cup final for him this afternoon. So Manchester United are out. So too Arsenal. Let's join our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
20 FA Cup triumphs between them, 34 finals including today. These are the two leading lights in the history of this wonderful competition, and now they are looking to the FA Cup to rescue a season that has seen them fall short of silverware elsewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand.
Manchester United have been here since Wednesday, as they were in the week of last year's final, to get away from all the ballyhoo at home. It is a royal occasion with the guest of honour, Prince Michael of Kent, who last presented the trophy in 1981, and he did it to a North London club, Spurs.
His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent, accompanied by representatives of the Football Association.
Here are the holders. Arsenal or Manchester United have been in all 4 previous FA Cup finals in Cardiff. And now, both for the 5th and seemingly the last, they're both here.
Pretty fitting that, wouldn't you say? And probably the most important one that either of them have played in.
Arsenal's preparations have been more understated. Just another match is Arsene Wenger's belief, a match that does come, though, with a new suit.
And a wet one in a minute.
And a new suit for the referees, isn't it? We've obviously been accustomed to black in FA Cup finals. For Manchester United in the black kit today, so Rob Stiles and his assistants all have switched to yellow. For both clubs. The season started here in Cardiff with Arsenal beating United in the Community Shield. 3 more meetings since then, all won by Manchester United. Arsenal have suffered that Premiership double defeat, and in between, the junior Arsenal side were knocked out of the Carling Cup by a pretty much reserved Manchester United side. It's in the record books, though. Most of these players have been through this experience before. But Arsenal have more of the newcomers. Babies by their rivals this week. Well, Arsene Wenger has gone for youth. Philippe Senderos starts at the back. Sol Campbell, suspended from the final 2 years ago, is only a substitute now. In midfield, 18-year-old, only just 18, Cesc Fabregas. But twice his age, Dennis Bergkamp, still not sure of a new contract. He looks for his first Millennium Stadium goal, playing up front in the absence of Thierry Henry. Both first-choice fullbacks missing for Manchester United. Gabriel Heinze always likely to be out, but Gary Neville hasn't quite made it after a groin strain. He is on the bench, so it is the back 4 that started at Southampton 6 days ago. Nevertheless, 9 of the side have FA Cup final experience. The newcomers to this great occasion, Rio Ferdinand, who was under suspension this time last year, and of course Wayne Rooney, looking for the perfect climax to his first season with Manchester United. Andy.
Well, we arrived at the game. The manager's put the thoughts down on paper. This is what we get. And it is a surprise from Arsenal. I think Arsene Wenger's taken a lot by surprise. He's taken the last 3 games into consideration. And he's got to strengthen that midfield area. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. But the way they play, I don't think it'll affect them. They're solid and strong at the back. That's why Senderos is picked ahead of Sol Campbell. His performances this year have been sensational. And up ahead of that, I think they can play with Dennis Bergkamp, because he'll wander about. They don't play normally with a man who stands up there and is marked anyway. And they'll look for support from the midfield area, particularly from the wide areas and from Fabregas and Vieira from the central areas. And I don't think it'll upset them too much. But many people will say, first blood Manchester United. Sir Alex, well, his team was easier to predict in many ways. And certainly his formation was very easy to predict. It was always going to be, for me, the team that he's picked, the formation that he's picked. The threat does come from Ronaldo and Rooney in wide areas, supporting Van Nistelrooy, Fletcher and Scholes in wide areas. The biggest difference between the 2 teams, I feel, Arsenal defensively have a unit. Manchester United have individuals. And for Manchester United, they have a finisher, and Arsenal don't.
Well, the 2 captains stalked each other's like stags, looking for the high ground when the clubs last met in February. They have to go through the formalities here. Many of the past records of these players against each other read like crime sheets. Plenty of previous, and it could be the most combustible FA Cup final.
I tell you, so much has been made, and particularly Ryan Giggs' omission. He'll be absolutely choked, Ryan Giggs. He might have played in lots of these, and he might think, well, it's not my day, don't you believe it? He's also thinking this might be my last chance to play in an FA Cup final. Although he signed that new, long, well, 2-year deal recently, he must have thought he had a chance, and he wasn't.
Fabregas, who's had far more experience this season than he or I think Arsene Wenger would have expected. He's been needed and he has answered the challenge, but this is a major challenge against the most successful FA Cup manager of all time. It's a challenge for Rob Styles, the reward of refereeing the FA Cup final, but the responsibility that comes with it is enormous today, because this is Star Wars, the Millennium Battle. It's now on your screens. There's the capacity for heroism on both sides. The dark side, certainly in terms of the kit, is Manchester United. The pitch has been soaked today. And it's always a bit vulnerable as a re-turfed area to this sort of weather. That's why they have the roof here. It hasn't been brought into play.
Just a touch early. That's why Rob Styles is waiting and waiting. Just a little bit before 3 o'clock. There it goes.
Manchester United kick off. They show when they play like warriors. Arsenal do find it hard to match them. If it comes to a pure footballing contest, well, that could favour the Gunners with their wonderful one-touch style.
A lot's been made of that game at Old Trafford, Mark, but I'm surprised Manchester United didn't make more of the fact that they went to Highbury and played Arsenal off the pitch in a fantastic 4-2 victory. But looking early on here, what I noticed with Manchester United, and the wide players are very much can be key. Wayne Rooney's actually starting right-hand side and Ronaldo left. Is that because he might be better suited defensively than Ronaldo to cope a little bit with Cole and whoever's there? And also Arsenal have kept Perez on their left-hand side because he's used to it, because he plays that with Ashley Cole better than probably Reyes. That's two interesting little start-ups at the beginning of the game.
And of course it could be a bluff or two. They could switch back.
They can change it any time, absolutely.
There's a big onus on the two out-and-out strikers. Bergkamp, even if he gets another season, which I think he's perhaps likely to be rewarded with.
They just might try and work Bergkamp in this sort of area. I know that sounds daft, but at 35 years of age, if you're doing little shuttles between centre-backs for long periods, it takes it out of you.
And Ruud van Nistelrooy, his fellow countryman, who's shorter matches himself, and although when he has been playing, he has been scoring, as usual. And Senderos, who's had a good run in the team. Sol Campbell's recovery didn't quite come in time. Vieira on Rooney. Maybe there was a young man for a big occasion. It looks like the Manchester United number 8, but at the moment he's staying closer to the touchline than the goal that he's attacking. It's Rooney's cross. Manchester United have got a lot of players forward, including Mikael Silvestre.
They're loaded up there, Manchester United as well. We're looking for a Shea, Silvestre going up to supplement them. Ronaldo is also very good in the air. It might be an area that Manchester United fancy testing Arsenal.
Paul Scholes, a slight doubt about him with a similar problem to Gary Neville's. Darren Fletcher's come through some fitness scrutiny as well. Who will get it right on the big day? And the days don't come much bigger in English domestic football than this. Ferdinand, who had to watch from the sidelines when Manchester United had a pretty comfortable ride in last year's final against Millwall. And Mr. Roy scored twice, you'll recall. O'Shea.
Just off. Close, I'd say, yes. I think he was. Along the line. He just tried to get back. He just looked, and it's a pretty good line Arsenal have held. Full marks to them for that. And that's what I expect to see from all the wide players. I don't expect them to sit there and occupy wide areas for 90 minutes. They'll drift in from the wide areas, go and try and influence the play elsewhere. That's when they really do become a threat.
Toure. Here's Perez looking to pick a pass to Lauren. It was noticeable that Robert Perez just had to set himself on this rather slimy top. Scholes tucking in. Wes Brown switched again to right back today. And Nistelrooy short of a bit of support, but he's been penalised anyway by referee Styles. Fabregas, Perez, they've worked it to Ashley Cole. Conspicuous shortage of numbers as the cross came in.
It's got to be perfect, isn't it? But that was a little warning to Manchester United that if Rooney switches off in a situation like that, and Fletcher's not aware because he's the right-sided of the players, then he'll get in and they'll pick him out.
Fabregas running into trouble. Arsenal got it back with Gilberto, whose return from injury has really been a vital part of their jigsaw. It's no coincidence that they've got their better form back with Gilberto back.
Yeah.
Had a busy week, Ashley Cole. Some concern on the face of Sir Alex Ferguson. They're looking at one or two areas, particularly the fitness of the players who've only just made it into the team. But Ronaldo full of running as usual. And a marvellous game in that marvellous performance that Andy was referring to at Highbury in February. He's got the better of Lauren. He's picked out Scholes.
Oh, wouldn't you just want to pick out Scholes as well? Couldn't have asked for better. The little man arrived right on cue. There's a little warning to Lauren. He's in for a tough time if they get the ball there. And I think the only thing he does wrong, and the only thing he gets wrong, is that by trying to put power in it, he just sacrificed a little in his accuracy. Just stood in there. Only criticism, had he been arriving, I think we might have had a different result.
As Paul Scholes, of course, beat Arsenal with the winner in the semi-final last season. It's the 11th pairing in the FA Cup between the two clubs, and it won't surprise you to learn that it's been 5 victories apiece. Gilberto. Lauren to Senderos. Fabregas. His maturity way beyond his years. Perez had to stretch.
Well, he has, and I think this is the type of game we come into it. There's not really any nerves about the pitch. We often talk about the early moments of an FA Cup final, but these players have played, most of them have played such big games, and there hasn't been anything. They've got it down. They've all wanted to get on the ball. They've wanted to pass it about.
Senderos looking for a runner who is Reyes. Roy Carroll hesitated, and Reyes is round him. Now what can he do here? He hasn't gone for what was a vacant-ish goal, certainly without a goalkeeper. Fabregas, Gilberto and Manchester United, with Keane having to restore some order here. He hasn't done that. He's played it straight to Pires. Gilberto was looking for Bergkamp. Vieira has a whack, but Roy Carroll will be relieved. And in the end, there was no direct challenge until that final Vieira shot to the goal that he vacated.
Well, it's a good run from Reyes. It's another example of what the wide players will do. Roy Carroll gets away with this. The goal's pretty well protected, and Reyes' behalf there. I don't think he would have scored right out from there. But he just sends him wide enough, and I think had he been able to play it then, he would have done. He had a quick look, he saw the goal covered, decided to try again. Just Roy Keane, when he got the ball just after that in his own penalty area, just a little sloppy with the ball out to the edge of the 18-yard box. It got cut out.
Lauren. Just wonder if it had been the mirror image of that situation and Reyes had got it on his left foot as he has now, whether he would have gone for goal. He does now. Because even with players back on the line, if you get it above head height, you give those defenders a major problem and the risk of a red card. Pires running into a very congested area. Manchester United have been good at denying Arsenal space. And Roy Keane's having a right go at Roy Carroll.
Just because he thumped it, and he's also having a go at John O'Shea. He wanted O'Shea to show in that situation and get the ball. He could have done quite easily. It's a pretty decent start to the game. It's zipped about the ball across the surface. Both teams looking to get it down and play.
Senderos. Toure. Bergkamp to spin in behind like Henry. Even in his younger years, he was never like Henry in terms of acceleration, but of course he's got great craft.
Yeah, I mean, ideally in a perfect world, you want to push Dennis Bergkamp as nearly halfway line as you could. And if he wanted to run under and feel confident, the problem you've got if you do that is that someone like Reyes has every chance of springing that.
But it's funny, isn't it, Andy, because we sort of invented the Bergkamp position as describers of the game. Teddy Sheringham would know about it. Off another striker. The veteran Dutchman is the main man. You can see him just thinking about trying to stop Manchester United playing from the back. And he's got energy to conserve. Keane. Rooney. Brown on the gallop. Wenger has spent part of his cup final week at that FA inquiry involving Ashley Cole. And what of Manchester United? We last saw them, Andy, against Chelsea. They're the same fellas, but it's not the same football club. Now in the hands of Malcolm Glazer. Probably the most relaxed people around Manchester United. There's a lot of edginess. Are the players themselves? They've got their contracts to protect them.
Yeah, I don't think that sort of thing affects the footballers when they build up to games like this. And I think sorry, Mark, we've got here. We've got an unbelievably good matchup from two teams who are so close together that you just don't know what is going to settle. Is it going to be a mistake, an error from a player, or is it going to be a piece of brilliance? Because there's plenty on the pitch capable of doing that.
Yes, Chelsea will rightly claim to be the team of the season, but we've got a summit meeting as far as FA Cup history is concerned. And indeed, plenty of Premiership present about it. Manchester United with that league double over Arsenal, but they weren't good enough to take advantage of it themselves. Obviously, it opened the door for Chelsea, and it made sure that their fierce rivals wouldn't retain the league title. Oh, and it's a nutmeg on Fabregas by Scholes.
Nice attempt. You see what he was looking for, the little ball in behind Senderos for Van Nistelrooy. One, it would have been a difficult one because slick surface, it was always going away.
Very nicely done on the turn by Brown, but it's not easy for Manchester United to get out to pick a more advanced player. Bergkamp.
Well, both have that problem, don't they? That's the thing when they get it. It's going to be intricate passing, movement. Neither has the support up there for Bergkamp and Van Nistelrooy.
Here's Reyes roaming. Lovely touch by Vieira, who's caught by Brown. Rob Styles entitled to play the advantage. Pires with a cutback. Bergkamp got a toe to it. The player following in was a little too far forward to benefit from that. Reyes.
Well, Wes Brown's getting a little talking to. The tackle, it was late in Vieira, I feel sure of that. This one here. I mean, it might have been a foul, probably was a foul, but good refereeing, kept it going. He'll be half pleased, the referee. It's been 13 minutes of quite easy stuff for him.
Just that long for Van Nistelrooy, and Toure had some trouble, but it fell for Senderos. Gilberto. Bergkamp took it with great technique. Gilberto had gone on running, but he was the only one. And Scholes is penalised for bringing down the Arsenal frontman.
Well, talk about it, that's the system that they've adopted to use, Arsenal. If it goes up like that to the front, he's got to hold it and hold it and hold it. To be fair to Dennis Bergkamp, he can do all that, second nature to him. Possession of the ball. Is it a bit too far? I wonder. I would half think about hitting this, I'll be honest with you, because it's wet, it's slippy. Neither goalkeeper's really made a save in the opening 13.5 minutes, so just test him, hit the target, follow it in, spills it, chance.
Reyes or Bergkamp. Carroll's wondering, but it's clearly Bergkamp straight into the wall. He went for the power. Certainly like a boxer wanting to influence the judges towards the end of a round. Dennis Bergkamp's come good at the end of his season. And the judges in his case, Arsene Wenger and the Arsenal board, the fans certainly wanted to have another year. Scored in the last 2 games. And they're involved in creating plenty of other goals as well for the Gunners in the run-in. Rooney.
The early moments of this game really are interesting because we've got a midfield that's like a bit like the M25 in rush hour. Like that, it's just a congestion of players. There's very, very little room about when both teams get set for them to play. Crowded out here. Just he's got to hold it shut, Van Nistelrooy.
Senderos. Manchester United quite happy to say to Arsenal, you can have the ball here. Are you really going to hurt us like that? Bergkamp really isolated. And the All-Stars concerned about Sylvestre bang on the head.
He might just get caught there, flailing arm as Bergkamp jumped. Referee indicated there he felt it was just a coming together. Wouldn't argue with that. He just tosses up. You see he's got up. There's the arm, and it just scratches him a little bit. You know, talk about it time and again. You cannot jump. It's impossible if you don't use your arms like that for leverage. And if you got up slightly earlier than the player you're jumping with, then he's the one who's going to cop it.
Player cam on offer for you today if you're a Sky Digital viewer, and it's currently following Dennis Bergkamp. It's not the only thing that's following him. It's Rio Ferdinand and Mikhail Sylvestre, although Sylvestre needs to obey the protocol for getting treatment on the pitch. Rob Swire, the physio for Manchester United, will shortly be back. Paradoxically, Manchester United finished their league campaign with a win, but it looked more out of sorts in their closing games. Arsenal lost their last Premiership game, but have generally been in excellent form since their semi-final win here. Very conclusive victories in Cardiff for both these clubs. And Nistelrooy, Rooney. England colleague Ashley Cole went in thinking he might get it, but he didn't, and he's going to get a yellow card.
And Rooney might be more injured than you think. This is real clumsy from Ashley Cole. He's tempted because of Rooney's bad control, and it gets away with him, but he's so quick, Rooney, to recover. Way thumps down on his back. He knows Rooney's a threat. He knows all about him, Ashley Cole. He wanted to try and snuff it out early. And I think, rightly, the first player to commit a tackle like that, I think was always going to receive a yellow card. But you wouldn't want to be facing Rooney for another 70 minutes or so with him getting the ball and coming at you, knowing you can't make a rash challenge again.
That's the position that Ashley Cole finds himself in. Ronaldo takes it, and Toure with no alternative but to concede the corner.
That's a good ball in, and there's a little disappointment that Manchester United had no one there. Lovely area. Talking about the 6-yard box, but they were just a little slow, United players.
Manchester United have never won the FA Cup in consecutive seasons. This is a chance for them to do that. The corner slightly overstruck by Scholes. There's a lot of talk at the semi-final stage, Andy, about using this stadium. It will take something off the final. I don't think that has been the case.
Over the last 4 years or so? No, it does release a fantastic atmosphere in the Millennium Stadium. I don't think any footballer who's played here would ever complain that there was a lack of atmosphere. I mean, there's something special about the FA Cup final being at Wembley in London. There's no doubt about it. You know, assuming there's no delays, we should all be back there this time next year.
But it is possible that the semis might be restaged here for one more year. Certainly it's not easy to get to this ground. It's very tricky to get away from, but the welcome is very warm.
Well, 20 minutes in, and I think that says it all about where the possession's been. 3/4 of the game's being played in that midfield third. It has been a game like chess. Neither team's really tried to stretch it too much at the moment. By that is what I mean. And people might think that's a nothing ball, but then tempts centre-backs to think, is it coming long, is it going short? At the moment it's all been going short. Back fours have known that. And therefore the game's been a bit squeezed.
It's a fair tackle on Rooney by Vieira. Arsenal quicken it as they love to do. And there's Gilberto having to wait for support.
They did well. I saw a little niggle. Perez on Wes Brown. Just as the ball was released.
Of course, this is a system that Manchester United have used regularly this season. Not so for Arsenal. They played occasionally in European games. And I asked how long they've been rehearsing for this cup final with it. I was told about an hour. And at the moment, although they had, as you saw from those action areas, a little bit more of the attacking play, they haven't looked particularly convincing with it. And here's Ronaldo, who's had one very good run already. And finds Fletcher. Shot hits Patrick Vieira. Rooney's cross. Ronaldo's useful in the air.
That was a chance for Manchester United. And the ball from Ronaldo to Fletcher wasn't good enough because Fletcher had to control it. He just lays it in front of him, he steps onto it and hits it.
Another good advantage played by Rob Styles as Fabregas was impeded. Could be a very good advantage for Arsenal. Reyes still going. Ferdinand's bought Manchester United a bit of time and Fletcher's got the ball. But Van Nistelrooy wrong-footed, and again the attempt to find a front man. It's very difficult for both camps. Lauren. Bergkamp, who was pretty much attacked from behind by a combination of Keane and Silvestre. And Silvestre has been picked out as the real culprit. He's got a caution.
I think it's a little unlucky, if I'm being honest. Roy Keane, the reason he's down like that was a little challenge with Fabregas. I think it was Fabregas when they came, but it was a collision in the middle of midfield when Rob Styles allowed play to go on and Arsenal almost got in. But Roy Keane's never looked happy since that moment. Whether he's just winded, certainly Manchester United would hope that that's the case.
Went off very early in the cup final, didn't he, in 1999 against Newcastle. Even earlier than this, but he stays on and joins the end of the Manchester United wall that's not looking particularly solid at the moment.
Well, I'd like to see a keeper make a save. Then I think we're at the FA Cup final. Quarter of it gone and we haven't yet had a shot on target.
This one does belong to Reyes. Got it through, but you didn't get your wish.
Well, it's not a great effort, but I have to say it's just as well because it wasn't a brilliant wall that Manchester United set up, and that's why Roy Carroll's asking the question. It was rather flimsy.
Confirmation of what we told you earlier, that Mikhail Silvestre was booked. But Roy Keane has a problem.
Struggling. Yeah, I tell you.
And that can only be bad news for Manchester United, who particularly in matches against Arsenal, look to their charismatic captain for the right kind of lead. Ronaldo. Silvestre. Ferdinand. Guided off by Rooney, anticipation by Cole, but he didn't get away with the ball. It's Brown who stopped him. Vieira, there's no one wide right because Reyes has pushed in alongside Bergkamp a little bit. Senderos, almost 25 tactical minutes gone.
Well, you couldn't have described it any better. That is what it's been. It's been chessboard stuff.
A match up in the middle of the field.
It's cancelling each other out at the moment.
Bergkamp started to roam a bit, and Reyes, whether it's just the shape of the game, Andy, at the moment, but he's certainly central as we look.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to find that. I really do. I think Reyes will wander.
Pires, Vieira, Bergkamp, Pires, now Cole, Reyes, trying to clip it over the challenge, and got too much on the ball.
still struggling. This is what I was talking about. This is the situation that comes in. And you see the left knee of Fabregas right into the groin area of Roy Keane. Just painful. If that's the case, it might just be a bit painful, but I might be able to see that one okay.
Ronaldo heads on again. Defenders certainly outnumbering attackers so far in this 2005 FA Cup final. Arsenal in their 8th game in this stadium, Manchester United's 7th. The cream has risen to the top. And the shape of the contest in Cardiff. Lauren has got it across towards Reyes by the near post. Ashley Cole had come herring into the picture, and now is sprinting back as Ronaldo gets away from Vieira. Gilberto intervened, and again there was a problem. It was only a square ball that was on for Cristiano Ronaldo. There's always the chance it would get cut out.
Well, square ball and one target. That's been the factor. You know, and unless someone changes systems or someone just does something out of the ordinary, we might be in for a bit of this in this game.
But the set piece assumes even greater prominence in a match like this.
Well, you're right. I mean, I think that was it the last time we were here at the League Cup final, and Chelsea looked to be going losing. 3 set plays later, they're 3-1 up.
Scholes to take the corner. Fletcher making up his mind for him. They've changed the angle. They've set up Fletcher for a shot. No, he looks to set up Rooney, and you can't blame him. Stopped by Lehmann and put in by Rio Ferdinand, but the flag is up. It doesn't count for Ferdinand, who's still left looking for his first Manchester United goal.
Well, didn't he finish it well, though? And just how close is he? They worked the corner beautifully. Well, the ball goes in, the flag stays down. But you can see it's spot on, it's close, but he's spot on. And what a save! Let's not forget, what a save. Through a ruck of players, pure instinct from Lehmann. That is a top-drawer save from the German goalkeeper. Wonderful strike, just about half a yard off.
A German goalkeeper who's had absolutely nothing to do to this point.
That's a great save. I mean, we talk about the offside as everyone has done, but we might not be debating offside.
Goal would have stood if it had been Rooney's. Gilberto. Now Vieira. So Arsenal breathe again. Pires. And the force away past Fletcher's got good legs, good engine. That's why he's in the team. Vieira. Still the chance to shoot. This is the sort of top on which you can skim a shot at a goalkeeper as well as well, Rooney's was. Vieira. Pires. Bergkamp. So often Arsenal look for the perfect move, the perfect goal.
Well, really surprising that move, that Bergkamp has controlled it. And just for a second, he thought, didn't he? He thought Rio Ferdinand.
Yes, this is his 115th game for Manchester United. Van Nistelrooy's done brilliantly. Rooney! And so too has Lehmann again. 2 tremendous saves by Jens Lehmann from Wayne Rooney.
This one's easier because it's straight above him. But how well does Van Nistelrooy do? Talk about Cole, his ability to get back and not be easily beaten. But he made it look so easy with Van Nistelrooy. Good save. Not as good as the first in my book, but good save. And now, after the best part of half an hour, well, the game's come to life a little.
Vieira's header. It's Keane. It's Rooney again. Why was he lurking there?
Well, because he can thump it in the way he can. But this is the one, he just holds his position. Full marks to Ruud van Nistelrooy. But you see what I mean? Straight above the goalkeeper. You expect him to save that.
But Manchester United flexing their muscles in the FA Cup final. They come here as holders of the trophy. They want to leave the same way. And there are very few people in the entire world game who can do that sort of thing, and one of them is only 19 years old, and his name is Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, and the other's the one who took the corner. Scholes can do this. I mean, you'd be surprised. That's why he looks there, because Manchester United have got that corner up their sleeve. They had it when Beckham used to hit it to Scholes. Paul Scholes used to thrash the volley. And you're a little surprised that Arsenal, meticulous in the preparation, would have not got that sorted. I think they might be better prepared next corner.
Cole. Now Fabregas in the central midfield, where he likes to play. He's a square peg in a round hole, right of a 4, which is where maybe many of us expected him to play. This change from Arsene Wenger. But it can be seen, Andy, as 4-3-3 rather than 4-5-1 if you can get the Perez's and the Reyes's further forward. They are at the moment.
Yeah, but I think you've got to get someone like Reyes is now in really close proximity.
Well, it hasn't worked in terms of a breakthrough for Arsenal. You remember that game you referred to at Highbury, Arsenal led twice. Still beaten 4-2. That fourth Manchester United goal came when they were playing 10 against 11, and Sylvester had been sent off, and John O'Shea wrapped up the victory. Reyes. Nowhere near.
No. It's really got to be hit that there, can't you feel?
O'Shea is a player who's benefited from Gary Neville not quite satisfying Sir Alex Ferguson in terms of being able to last 90 minutes. Keane seems to be moving with much more freedom now. Scholes trying to get some freedom from Fabregas. Rooney, that marauding style.
Well, they might have got it from some referees, but I guess that Rob Styles felt that he'd lost control of the ball, that he wasn't going to get it other side of Colo Torre. Wouldn't argue with that.
Vieira. It's Van Nistelrooy making a 6-man in the Manchester United midfield for a moment. Scholes. Ronaldo got behind Toure. Rooney quickly on the scene. Scholes trying to support him. Rooney goes down, has a look at the referee.
No, he's not going to get that. More than hope than expectation. I think it would be fair to say that Manchester United have probably worked the top end of the pitch better than Arsenal at the moment. The attacking part.
Perez. Live playoff action continues tonight on Sky Sports 1. Southend against Northampton from 6. We might be playing here till almost 6 with the stalemate so far.
Well, if the game stays in this pattern in this way, then somebody will win it 1-0.
Perez. Very much literally under the referee's nose there, the foul on Fletcher.
Been a little unlucky Fabregas there. He's done all right, Rod Styles. 35 minutes in, he's not had to make a big decision yet, which is always good.
Measured ball by O'Shea. Ronaldo trying to get Arsenal on the back foot again, and
That's not out. That's not out. I didn't think that went out. I'm not right in line, but I'm with the German goalkeeper and I'm with the Arsenal keeper here. And I'll tell you why it's a difficult decision for the linesman to make, because his body is covering the ball.
let alone a couple of goalposts as well.
Yeah, I mean, just have a quick look at this. As it drops at that near post, then he takes it. Clearly not out. Clearly
FA Cup history book is littered with controversial moments. And Lehmann makes his point. And there's a bit of room for Arsenal to work into. Certainly, probably the first time we've been able to say that. Manchester United get back through Keane, and Rooney's off and running. And Senderos times his challenge impeccably. Kept in by Cole.
I think it's a kind of first half we felt it might be. Cautious a little. Respectful, hugely, of each other.
But one element that's really been missing, delighted to say, has been the enmity between the two.
I didn't think it would be a kicking match. I think it's all bravado from Arsenal, a little bit of pre-match thing, but Manchester United are a very good footballing side, and I don't think people should forget that. But making tackles, don't forget that either. It's part and parcel of playing this game. And being big enough mentally to cope with that is also part and parcel of playing this game.
Good point. O'Shea. Keane. And Mr. Roy just indicating to Roy Keane to work it to the wider position, which he's been able to do to Wes Brown. Although Perez like defending too much, he's leaving the closing down to Vieira.
He can come right. They've hooked it well again there, Manchester United.
Flag has gone up against Van Nistelrooy.
I don't be surprised if you've seen that a couple of times, because he plays so much on the shoulder with Van Nistelrooy. And you see what scores, he's just trying to fizz it in with pace. He's just offside. And he tests linesmen all the time with Van Nistelrooy. This is an area that hasn't really developed for Arsenal, and it's an area we talk about time and time and time again when you watch this side. The left-hand side of the pitch. They haven't quite put it together yet, and that doesn't mean they won't.
Far and away the top scorers in the Premiership, but their goals record in the FA Cup hasn't been particularly impressive until they came here and got to the three. And two of those very late from a substitute, Robin van Persie, against Blackburn in the semis. It's been the opposite for Manchester United. Had their lowest Premiership total of goals since the league was restructured. They've been firing them in this competition. 4 in the quarter-final at Southampton, 4 here in the semis against Newcastle. It's amazing to think it started with a goalless draw against Exeter City from the Conference. Not too many of this Manchester United team were playing that day. Toure. Well, it's tight, it's technical, and teams are hoping maybe to hustle an error out of an opposite number. Lon's got forward here. Ferdinand first to it, Silvestre had to get to it. O'Shea. Good work by Vieira for Arsenal. And Perez, and again, just when there seems to be a glimmer for an attacking player, certainly for an Arsenal attacking player, it goes back to darkness again. Lehmann has had some work to do. Brought up on the FA Cup legend, that is Bert Trautmann, the German goalkeeper who played with a broken neck, had a broken neck sustained in it when the FA Cup final, was a winner with Manchester City, 1956.
Well, it's just not happening for the Gunners at the moment. And this attacking third must be worrying Arsene Wenger. They've done all right everywhere else in the pitch. Their passing in the midfield area has been okay. Defensively, apart from a couple of slips, set plays all right. But very, very little at the top end.
And surely he's playing this way. I mean, I guess the Thierry Henry factor has got to be taken into account, but mostly out of respect, which is the word you used, Andy, for Manchester United and what they've done to Arsenal in the league this season.
I can only judge that and that the reason, because this is a system that he has hammered all season, Arsene Wenger, hasn't he?
He's been the most outspoken.
Absolutely, and yet he comes to a cup final and he plays a system he's never used. I think he might have a decision to make at half-time.
Just occasionally used in European games, and Arsenal haven't blazed the trail in Europe, have they? And here's Ronaldo. It's too long and Lehmann can see it off. But if he changes it now, there's an admission that he was wrong to start with it. Will it open the door for Manchester United?
No, I don't think it'll open the door. Is it an admission he's wrong? But managers are paid to make these decisions. You know, if he makes a decision, if he doesn't make the decision and they go on to lose it, then he really will have been proved to have been wrong.
That's why they get £1 million a year plus, yeah. Toure. It's been very comfortable for Rio Ferdinand and Mikhail Silvestre.
Well, Reyes is just occupying a position near the Bert now. He's just trotting back over to the right here. So maybe it's just because the game's set him there.
Ronaldo's done all his work down the left, and some of it's been threatening to Arsenal's hopes here. He scored late in the first half against Millwall a year ago.
Well, they might have changed it, Arsene Wenger, already, because Reyes now is playing far closer to Bergkamp, just offside again. Ruud van Nistelrooy, far closer to Bergkamp than he has been. And if that stays, then that's the measure of the disappointment that nothing's happened at that end of the pitch for him. But we'll see if he stays there.
Fabregas is still working through the centre. There's no one gone wide on the right-hand side. Bergkamp to a runner through the middle from midfield. It was Patrick Vieira. Carroll slid it out to Ronaldo, who was certainly up to the task. O'Shea.
I think what they're trying to do is Gilberto's the one who I think is playing rightish of the four at the moment. I would think that might be the happier dugout, the happier bench. I would guess Arsenal's nil. Yeah, thought it might have been.
Manchester United 2 from Wayne Rooney in his first final. And that's not counting the FA Youth Cup final, of course, where he was a loser with Everton to Aston Villa 3 years ago now. Only just ineligible to play in the FA Youth Cup finals of this season.
It's a bit like two heavyweights that line up together and they say, OK, let's feel your best punches in the early rounds, and who grows in confidence on that, who feels that, well, we can cope with this, can they cope with us? And that's what happens in big heavyweight contests like this. It's a lovely ball.
From Silvestre to Van Nistelrooy.
Reyes has just trotted down now, he's now opposite John O'Shea, so maybe that the game just found him up there beside Bergkamp.
Keane finding Van Nistelrooy's feet. It's a lovely turn.
Oh, Scholes was arriving as well. One of those late runs. I think he's every right to take the shot on, because that's the kind of player he is, and he's worked the opening for himself. It's there to be hit, he just scuffs it.
Toure.
Yeah, Reyes has been shifting that, definitely.
And Gilberto is playing outside of Fabregas. He's another one who wouldn't want to occupy that position. It's been the first half of a sparring nature, and Henry's cutting edge missed by Arsenal and also missed by viewers all around the world.
We just wondered, Dennis Bergkamp, how long? 35 years of age. Big final. Sapping conditions.
Rooney. Rain that fell heavily before kickoff has eased during the first half, and was in the Arsenal dressing room. They brought all the injured players down to Cardiff. Vieira. Now Pires. Bergkamp. Really have to hit the pass on this wet pitch. There were a couple there that fell short. Bergkamp was waiting for it, and then his attempt to keep the move going was understruck.
The coaches with what to do at half-time.
Rooney. Just the game moves into a different dimension when he gets on the ball, and he's got a free kick here. Rob Starr's properly waited to see whether there was anything in it for Scholes.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. They better get it quick. I'll tell you what, not only is he skillful, Rooney, but he's as strong as an ox. I mean, this first part of this was brilliant. Quick feet, ability, control. And then when you think he's lost it, watch this. And you go, wins the tackle, up again. Well, he waited, but this is obviously the last hit of the first half, that's for sure.
Well, if you've got a gut feeling, let Rooney hit it. Scholes is having a look at it. Ronaldo's there as well.
No left footer, like Giggs.
In added time before half-time. At the end of a very tight first period. The player who makes things happen is having a look at it, Wayne Rooney. Takes it. Sometimes stealth is one option, but he hits the ball so hard with all that power. It was his shot that was knocked away by Lehmann's foot. A splendid save. Rio Ferdinand thought for a fraction of a second he'd got his first Manchester United goal in an FA Cup final. But Lehmann then made another save from Rooney just after that. And Manchester United had looked the more dangerous team in this first 45 minutes, in which Arsenal have looked at odds with the system the manager has asked them to play. At half-time, though, 0-0.
For all that, fascinating. Niall Quinn and Teddy Sheringham are with us. We'll get their thoughts when we come back on whether Arsenal need to make a change or not, on whether this goal should have stood or not. Ferdinand thought he'd scored for the first time in a United jersey. Not so, it's goalless. Well, Lincoln made the Division 2 playoff final earlier today. Who will join them, Southend or Northampton? We'll find out tonight at 6 o'clock. It's live on Sky Sports 1. And at 8:30 we have the Madrid derby, Real going against Atletico. Teddy Sheringham and Niall Quinn, our guests here this afternoon. It's been mainly Manchester United, Ted, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. If it was a boxing match, I think Man United would be edging it, but it's a football match and it's still 0-0, so everyone's quite happy with the scoreline at the moment.
Rio Ferdinand thought he'd scored. There was no doubt ultimately. But I suppose before he sticks this ball in, Andy admired the save. You've got to admire the save, haven't you?
Yeah, it's coming through a crowd of bodies there. Wayne Rooney's done very well to hit the target in the first place. Great save, reaction save, and as we've shown earlier, Rio was probably half a yard just offside.
And becomes active as a result of the save.
Yeah.
Now.
Good finish though.
Have your team got to change things a bit?
I think so, yeah. I think it's all right to a point where they were keeping plenty of possession and knocking the ball, but they haven't had a shot on target. And that has to be a big worry to a manager going in at half-time. And the movement that they have is fine going one way if you're getting results. But with Reyes out on the right at the start, and he's got a licence to go where he likes, what it's done, it's left Loren totally exposed. And there are times when, I mean, Ronaldo's just got the ball and ran past him. And I think for what it's meant to get you going forward, it's hurting them more going back. And I think they've got to go back to the way they know best.
You talk about Ronaldo getting a ball and running past players, and Rooney. You didn't expect to see Ruud van Nistelrooy do that.
Yeah.
But he creates a chance here for Wayne Rooney, who, when he's on the ball and when he's around the ball, every time is a threat, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when it comes to it. But I mean, great touch, wonderful control. But he's rolled Ashley Cole so easy there. Not expecting that at all. But Rooney was, and he got into a great position. And as he has done all day, he's been threatening, looking for those positions. A little bit worried that, I think Cole got booked just before that. And I think it's to slow him down a bit because he was bombing up and down all for the first 20 minutes, whatever it was. And then as soon as he got booked, he's kind of sat back a bit. But if you worry about Manchester United now to make your changes, I think Arsenal are in trouble. What he's got to worry about is his own team. and say, okay, we've got to make changes to get shots on goal.
Was the best chance the header that Scholes had early?
Yeah, you don't expect Scholes to miss a chance like this. You know, you have a little think about it afterwards and think, what could he have done with it? Maybe guiding it in the far post is probably what he's trying to do there, but maybe even heading it down towards the keeper's feet and letting the pace take it past the keeper, maybe. But he'll be disappointed not hitting the target with that chance.
A message to Andy Gray, 35, in your opinion, is quite young, isn't it?
He's a young lad, you know. I don't know why they're talking about bringing him off, you know. He's a young lad. Spring chicken running about out there.
No goals yet, but it is absolutely fascinating, as is always the case when these two front each other up. Arsenal 0, United 0, second half comes next. Rio Ferdinand thought he got it, but he was offside, so we're still waiting for the opening goal in the 2005 FA Cup final. It's the first of two big finals this week. Wednesday night, Liverpool, of course, playing the Champions League final against Milan. 6 o'clock our programme starts on Sky Sports 1. Ahead of that on Tuesday, a special programme to mark their march in Europe this season. 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Teddy Sheringham and Niall Quinn are with us. If Arsenal change, Niall, what would you like to see changed?
Well, I think the obvious one is Van Persie to come on to add a little bit of front weight to the whole thing, where if I don't want him to see come on for Dennis either. I'd like to see him change the system. Hard to see who they take off, but whichever one of the midfield players they would take off, I think automatically it'll fall in that they will play and they'll be more comfortable in terms of defending what Man United are doing to them. I think it has a plus for them in terms of getting chances on goal, but it also has a plus that the 5 in the middle who are running around trying to fill in for different people, they won't have to do that as much, and they'll go back to their original pattern. So Van Persie to come on up front for, I don't know, possibly Fabregas or Reyes.
Rooney's a threat, Ted. We've mentioned that. In order to get him on the ball more, do Manchester United have to sacrifice something? If so, what?
Well, I think everybody likes to see Rooney coming through the middle. If you do that, then you're going to have to sacrifice one of the midfield 3. Probably that would be Fletcher, and then you can bring Giggsy on and play and put Ronaldo on the other wing and bring Giggsy on in his favoured position. But I think the formation has worked very well for Sir Alex so far, towards the end of the season. So I don't see any reason why he would change it at the moment, especially while it's still at 0-0 and Man United pushing all the right buttons, really.
Right now, it's been so tight. You do get the feeling that we might be going all the way here, don't you? To extra time and maybe beyond.
Yeah, well, I think Arsenal have to try and do something different, because if there is going to be a winner at this moment stage, it looks like United, and it's almost a matter of time in some ways, because they're beginning to get the impetus up. And it depends how Arsenal's change work if they make that. I mean, he may go 10-15 minutes, have another look at it. But I think United are clearly in front. Teddy said a boxing match, yeah, that's the type of performance it is for them, but they haven't had the goals. So as long as it goes to that, yeah, extra time is a possibility. But I'd be a little bit worried now. I think Arsenal fan there, they know their team haven't performed yet.
No reason why they should be thinking about a change, says Ted. They've been asking most of the questions. And if they're not in red, then black is Sir Alex Ferguson's preferred choice. So here we go again. It would appear no sign of any changes. Let's rejoin our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Roy Keane leads Manchester United out. He leading the way in terms of modern-day players in this his 7th FA Cup final. 7th. And it would be a 5th win. Also for Ryan Giggs, if he does get a part of it, he still gets a medal. Of course, even if he doesn't, because he's on the Manchester United bench. And maybe we need a Giggs or a Van Persie to unhinge the current padlock situation. Still Bergkamp with Reyes alongside him to set the ball rolling for Arsenal at the start of the second half. But I think, Andy, we need to keep reminding ourselves what's at stake here. These are two famous clubs with no silverware this season.
Oh, absolutely, I think that's part and parcel of the reason that we saw a tight, edgy start to the game in many ways.
So off we go for the second half. There hasn't been extra time in an FA Cup final since 1993, when Arsenal were involved. And it actually went to a replay against their opponents then, Sheffield Wednesday. No replays these days.
We've kicked off and I thought that Arsenal had changed, but look at that. What do we see Reyes at the beginning of the second half? Almost chalking his boots.
And not the ball at his boots because it skipped away from him. O'Shea. Ronaldo had some excellent moments in a first half which was mostly dominated by defenders. Reyes, Bergkamp, Fabregas. Cole's made a good run ahead of Pires. He was well aware of him, but he couldn't squeeze the ball beyond Brown. And Nistelrooy took that very well from Rooney. He thinks about attacking every time he gets the ball, and the game could do with maybe 1 or 2 more players with that attitude. Senderos. Patience can be the name of the game, and certainly he's done plenty of that so far. Vieira. Pires.
Oh, he's looking up now. This is where Senderos looks up. Nothing on. But they will pass it. Both teams will do this.
It's a risky ball from Vieira because we've seen on several occasions the passes hold up on this well-grassed surface. Ronaldo nearly nicked it from Lauren. Pires, Bergkamp.
The only thing I would say at the beginning of the second half, you just feel that Arsenal have got to play better as an attacking force. I don't think Arsene Wenger will have accepted that from his team at half-time. Not a shot on goal, no real threat, apart from the Reyes when he got through early, wide. It's got to be better than that.
Ronaldo certainly got to it ahead of Lauren that time, and that's been one of the themes, one of the more positive themes from the game so far.
They've been quite disciplined in that respect, Manchester United. They haven't allowed Ronaldo and Rooney to swap sides at any time in the match. Normally when those two play in these areas, they do tend to swap over. But I do think that's because of who they're playing against. They obviously fancy Ronaldo against Lauren, and they like the fact that Rooney might just do a bit better defensively against Ashley Cole.
Cole, of course, is carrying a yellow card from the first half, and he's got to be careful in his defending. Rooney tries to brush him aside. Cole wins that very cleanly, and with his weaker foot too. Look how deep Bergkamp had to come, and the ball didn't stick with him. Rooney, still Wayne Rooney for Manchester United. It looped up off Senderos, who moved out in the nick of time.
Well, you can just see, not the fear, maybe even a little bit of panic when he picks up the ball in those areas from Arsenal defenders. He worked that position so well and so easily.
Miss-hit really from Cristiano Ronaldo. It's all back for Arsenal. Fletcher. Ronaldo embarrassing Lauren again. Run on for Ferdinand. Shows he can play from the wide position. It's wonderful work from the central defender. They need to cover for him at the back, but only momentarily, because again Arsenal really can't get going forward.
I know it's a daft question, he's on the bench, but how fit's Freddie Ljungberg, Mark?
Well, fit enough to feel that he was available to start the game if selected. He came off in the semi-final, you remember, Andy?
Yeah, but that might have been my change, looking at it. Might have to sacrifice Fabregas and get Freddie Ljungberg on that right side and go back to something, you know, get Reyes at the top end of the pitch, drop Bergkamp down a bit. Still give them 5 when they needed it defensively, but play Bergkamp off the front.
Brown, Fletcher. That's towards the end of the first half. Manchester United looking the more likely side. Scholes. And here's Cole. There's nowhere really to go. He's got to go on, and it's a good piece of keeping the ball by Reyes.
But Dennis is never going to catch that, is he? Never going to catch a ball like that. I think they have 2 viable options. Ljungberg and Van Persie. And change the system. Go back to what you know. Go back to what you've been great at.
Manchester United know their formula. Van Nistelrooy. There's a ball that, at his very sharpest, he would have taken and turned and may well have scored from, and he knows it.
Yeah, skipped away from him a little in defence, but you still expect him to get hold of it.
Ronaldo. O'Shea. Comes out to Fletcher. Rooney. He's forced Fletcher a little bit wide, but Brown's there to help him. Keane. Into Van Nistelrooy. It does stick with him this time. Roy Keane goes on again. And a good defending at the near post by Toure.
Super football. I tell you, the pressure's growing. Arsenal just cannot, in the first 5 minutes of the second half, get out. But what good defending. That's a classic one. Toure comes from nowhere. You watch him. He sees where the danger is, and he suddenly thinks, I have got to deal with this. And he gets across and does his job.
The Manchester United fans mostly behind the goal that United are attacking here. Scholes fires across the corner. Keane will get to it. He's got Rooney there to help him if he wants. And deeper, he's got O'Shea. Reyes chasing across, but it is all chasing for Arsenal at the moment. Manchester United have got the bit between their teeth. And they get a goal to show for it. Always seem to be veering wide from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, that's a poor shot that nearly turns into a great cross. That's about all you could say about that. And I think there's no real pressure on the ball. Lorna's got 2v1 against him. He's never really threatening the goal. You see it, cuts across the ball and it starts to move left to right just about as soon as he hits it, and it's well wide of the target. But Arsenal have got some answers to find.
Brown.
But you watch the odd performance occasionally from Arsenal, it's a bit like this. They've always got in the locker a move somewhere, and that would be what Alex Ferguson will be sitting in the bench saying, now, as long as that doesn't happen and his team are disciplined and switched on, he must be thinking, well, it's not when, but if.
Cole miscalculated, Rooney's behind him. Big problems for Arsenal here. Comes out to Fletcher. The young Scot turns away from Vieira, the great Frenchman. Ronaldo's in there. Toure needs to tidy up, and Arsenal on the back foot again, and Manchester United feel they're on the move.
Oh, Pat Reyes off the bench there, very anxious that the way things are going. They must be on the Arsenal bench. Now the coach joins him.
Pat Reyes played in that 1979 final. The only time the two clubs have met in the climax to this great competition. And Arsenal were 2-0 up, and he's gone out. And then there were 3 goals in the last 4 minutes, 2 to equalise and a winner for Arsenal. The first real sign of animosity between the players.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why. But Lauren reacted to something. He's a bit spiky, Lauren.
Well, the Arsenal fans, conversely to Manchester United, of course, at the other end, the north end of the stadium, they'd like to see a little bit of their team in closer proximity to them.
They'd like to see a little bit of their team on the ball, wouldn't they? Almost 10 minutes, it's just been Manchester United possession, Manchester United pressure.
It's hurried a bit by Silvestre. And Pires just ported the drop of the ball a bit better than Fletcher. Brown trying to help him out. Whistle has gone, and it's gone in Arsenal's favour.
Now, Rio Ferdinand's having the right whack at Darren Fletcher, because when that ball dropped in between Pires and him, Fletcher's just got to go and head the thing. And if he doesn't, then he'll get a free kick, because Pires' leg's way up. Now, Manchester United have to defend the corner. This is what I mean, they've dominated the game. Sir Alex Ferguson will be furious if this gets nicked in. Finds an Arsenal head. All the good work undone.
The winners here in 2002 and 2003. Dennis Bergkamp will remember that. And losing to Liverpool in 2001 in the Cardiff Cup finals. Bergkamp takes Ferdinand is there for Manchester United. Ronaldo's touch is short. Very short.
That was very good. I tell you, Lauren, he's a lucky boy that Ronaldo's so good in respect to skipping away from tackles, because he's a right swipe at Ronaldo here. I think that's what Rio Ferdinand's saying to him. No chance as he goes past him. And he catches him, that's a booking. Flag went up immediately. He launched at it.
It was a legacy of what happened at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, but nothing happened, did it?
Well, probably Ronaldo said something and Lauren lost his cool, and Arsene Wenger will know that his team's a bit vulnerable to that sort of thing. They need to keep calm here because the match is at times going on around the Arsenal players.
I'm not so sure what he's upset about there. I think the referee's done him a favour bringing the game back, because he'd skipped past Lauren, he'd skipped past Senderos, he was on his way, and he brought the game back.
That's Brown on Pires, and there is a more physical element just creeping into the game now.
I mean, well, I'd have to call it physical, that, but I know what you mean. But I think a lot of that's to do with Arsenal, because they are obviously unhappy at the way they're playing. They know they're second best at the moment.
Lauren giving Ronaldo a taste of his own medicine, which is a difficult thing to do. Here's Fabregas running free. A little bit more openness to the play in this Arsenal attack. And they'll be grateful for that. Oh, and Cole really spoils a chance to make an opportunity against Manchester United here.
The best move that they've probably made in the match, let alone the second half. Super football from right to left, starting with the right back, ending with the left back on the edge of the 18-yard box. The super football. That's unlike him. Unlike him.
Well, the British Lions are in Cardiff. They have a match here against Argentina. And Johnny Wilkinson is now part of that group. Cole. Vieira was just sliding into Brown as the ball was released. Wayne Rooney just having a little word with the referee, as he tends to do.
Yeah, it's a free kick. Patrick Vieira's nowhere near the ball. I don't know what, honestly, I mean, I don't know what Arsene Wenger thinks. That's not a free kick, but it is.
And it's taken by Brown, and Lehmann's interested in it. He makes it his.
Well.
Who his place and future is a little bit under threat, if you believe the rumour mill. Arsenal are looking to strengthen their squad in the goalkeeping department.
His handling's been great today. Taking a couple of real towering crosses like that, as clean as you like.
Never Reyes his ball. I was just waiting for him to pull out, but he didn't. John O'Shea gets his free kick.
Well, your worry would be for Alex Ferguson, Manchester United. They've had the best of this game for the best part of an hour. They've had opportunities, they haven't taken them. And we always talk in football about getting a goal when you're on top. I just don't believe that Arsenal are not going to have some of this game at some time in the day. Well, it's hugely, it's double almost the possession that Manchester United have at the moment. So he does right that ball, doesn't he? He plays it beautifully.
And Rooney controls it beautifully. Whereas his tackle was a bit half-hearted, but he realised that and got back. And he's lost out to Rooney again. Brown. Nicely worked by Manchester United. Good angle for the cross. Keen to crack one. He was so desperate to have a go, he mishit it. His eyes really lit up, Roy Keane, as the ball rolled out to him.
Well, we've got a chance here.
And it bisected Pires' ball, bisected Fabregas and Vieira. Two midfield players caught well forward. Arsenal exposed by Manchester United's counter-attack. And Rooney's cross. Van Nistelrooy!
It's just behind him. I wondered whether Wayne Rooney thought ever of driving in a little bit himself. He's probably just a little wide here. But I think he looks up early and he sees he's got good support. Yeah, he's just driven a little wide. It's been a pretty good finish. They've dragged it from way back there onto target.
But some of the shackles of the first half have come off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's opened up a little. I think because Manchester United have become a little more adventurous. I think they feel that they are the better team at the moment.
Scholes, terrific tackle, doesn't always get them right, got that one right, but it's running behind him to Reyes. He's got Vieira to his right, Bergkamp just pulling away to the left, and Ferdinand going with him. Reyes again. Dealt with by Sylvestre and Fletcher. And the best of this 2005 FA Cup final is sure to come in the last half an hour, maybe beyond, because spaces are now starting to appear and the attackers are beginning to give defenders more and more problems.
He'll get booked now. There you go. Absolute cast iron certainty. Spent about 3 minutes talking to him the other end of the pitch. Nowhere near the tackle. Nowhere near the ball. Your message now, get it to him. Ronaldo, that is, as often as possible. This guy's shaking a little.
Well, both fullbacks are booked now, so they can go wide and really drive at Arsenal in those areas.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest difference in the match in the two teams has been the wide areas. If you look at Ronaldo and Rooney, contributed hugely to Manchester United, but then think of Perez and Reyes. Can we think of much?
Very little.
It's been a major difference in the two sides.
Coming from Key. A shot from Ronaldo!
Good effort. Good effort. Whip, pace. You just can't get it down that final, couple of feet.
Well, Andy, I don't know what the Glazer family are making of a game, and the USA 0-0s don't go down too well, but I think if he knows anything at all about professional sport, he'll realise that he's brought into the talent of Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo, and that would look a pretty good investment.
Oh, yes.
They could be the Buccaneers for his English investment.
Now, that's a change I talked about, I think. To me, that had to come now. We will see when the change is made whether that is the system change or not.
Fabregas. Arsenal just a little fortunate to be level pegging with just over the hour gone. There's been more menace in the attacking play of Manchester United. And the Gunners are a bit short of ammunition to this point. Gilberto. Senderos. Vieira. Reyes still coming from the right-hand side. Sent tumbling by John O'Shea. John O'Shaven.
Yeah, just wrong footed tackling with you. It's just a clumsy challenge. But every time you give a free kick away, you're playing against a side who you've been on top of. You just know one delivery, one meeting it right. And that's Manchester United's biggest threat at the moment. Lack of concentration when they get caught.
Plenty in black. Lining up to deal with it. Drop for Perez, who was unattended. And we can reflect on a rare shooting opportunity, but again, Arsenal not hitting the target.
No, I think this is a decent chance for Robert Perez. He's certainly got the ability. They don't get it out the box far enough, but he had a lot of shots in front of him to get past. We talked about the change. We said Bergkamp maybe an hour, 65 minutes. I'm not surprised that that change has been made. Freddie's going to come on. Reyes go up top. Does that suggest a change in system? Not really. Not really.
So Freddie Ljungberg.
No, he's coming over every word.
Has some Cardiff credentials. Scored in 2 finals. And there aren't too many people in the history of this great competition who have scored in 3.
Well, I wonder if he just said to Fabregas, you're the one to get forward, get support quickly to Reyes.
still a possibility. We may just have seen the back of Dennis Bergkamp. His meeting with Arsene Wenger will take place early next week. Van Nistelrooy, near post. From a Ronaldo cross that challenged Arsenal again. Rooney. Fletcher. Van Nistelrooy going in. And Lauren around him. When the ball was in the air, it did look as though it might be an opportunity for the main man up front for Manchester United.
The attempts are growing. So many on target, as you'd expect. Only 3 out of 14 in total. And that was another half a chance for Manchester United, and there's another raking ball from Sylvestre.
Rooney! Oh, he's turned it onto the post. He was nearly caught out, Lehmann. And then it's fired wide on the follow-up by Fletcher.
Oh, what a football brain this young kid's got. At such tender years. Top draw stuff. That is a superb ball. It's only one of a clutch of them that he's played all game. Oh, just gets a touch, Lehmann. Just. I can remember at Wembley, Peter Beardsley doing something like that for England in a game. Faintest of touches, because it's in. It's definitely in. But they're getting closer. And Arsenal know. They played in a game here when you and I commentated in 2001, when for 80 minutes they absolutely paralysed Liverpool and ended up losing.
Manchester United again with Ronaldo, and it's just come between Lehmann and Van Nistelrooy.
You just wonder. You just wonder. Lovely ball in. Can't get there, it's as simple as that. You just can't get there with Van Nistelrooy.
Oh, 1 minute he's diving back, 1 minute he's diving out, Jens Lehmann. While Roy Carroll's watching from the other end.
Well, Arsenal's big players have got to stand up and be counted now. I'm talking about the man on the ball. The skipper's got to lead by example. Talking about Gilberto, got to stem it. Freddie Ljungberg now on. Reyes, a big money signing for games like this. Robert Perez, Ashley Cole. These are the players that have got to stand up now and turn this game round. Find something.
Perez. Reyes. Here's Ljungberg. Gilberto. Now Cole. Ljungberg. Reyes. Arsenal have got more players forward here. And now Van Nistelrooy. Brown. Vieira. Certainly got a good piece of the ball.
Yeah, it was a good tackle.
That was Fletcher who was a little bit high.
And they're talking to, yes. No more than that. Just pulls out of it in time. It's the ball sat up. Have they got a chance in them, Arsenal? I mean, it hasn't looked like it. 70 minutes. But you just feel, I keep saying it, repeating myself, I know, you just feel at some time in the game they're going to put a move together.
Ljungberg on to try and help that happen. Gilberto. That's a cleverly carved pass. Gilberto Challenged by Silvestre. Rob Stiles spreads his arms to say, it's okay with me, play on. A spell of possession for Arsenal here. And far too few of those occasions from their perspective. Vieira. Scholes. The ball was kept in by O'Shea. Ronaldo's running has troubled Arsenal really right from the off. He's earned another free kick, certainly within shooting range.
Yeah, I think he's a little unlucky, Kolo Toure. He goes to ground very easily here. He's almost going down as he goes past Toure. It's a generous decision.
Wayne Rooney thwarted by Jens Lehmann twice in the first half, and just a few minutes ago with that inspired low shot from wide on the right.
The only surprise for me at the moment is that Ronaldo with a fantastic effort, what, 10 minutes ago? He's shown no interest in this.
And Rooney wants it. Rooney wants the FA Cup. And here's his chance to steer Manchester United towards it, and well, again he's worked the goalkeeper.
Yeah, who once again his handling is exemplary. Bouncing ball coming towards him. Never looked like spilling it.
Cole. Trying appeals for ball against Ashley Cole, but United quickly got the ball back, which has been pretty much the story of the afternoon. A story that is still nowhere near a conclusion, though. Extra time and penalties on the option.
Oh, it's unlucky, John O'Shea. Would have managed to feed that in front of Ronaldo. He was away.
Such a difference really in basic personality between Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, but you know, they do share this desperate desire to win football matches. It drives them on. Arsene Wenger now a long servant of Arsenal, but what Alex Ferguson has done for Manchester United, I can't believe will ever be repeated at a football club at the top level. And this is interesting. Quinton Fortune, if he gets into the fray, he's been the man who's always missed out when Manchester United have been getting trophies in the past. No Premiership medals for him. Didn't play in the FA Cup final last season. Maybe it will be his day. Vieira. Ljungberg. Reyes. Back to Freddie Ljungberg. Great play from Arsenal. Ashley Cole was saying just roll it back to the left back.
Weight of numbers, really. That's the only thing that squeezed out Freddie Ljungberg. But that's what I'm talking about. They'll put a move together, Arsenal, but just too many black shirts around. It's a more even game now for the first time in the second half.
Here's Cole. Vieira flew up off Fletcher. Had to be won by Ferdinand, and he won it. And it was played against the head of Cole. He knew nothing about that. Goal kick.
It's been an interesting one. Quinton Fortune ready to come on. For who?
A left-sided player, and not Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, this suggests.
But he doesn't need Giggs, does he? He's got Ronaldo and Rooney going strong.
Yeah, he has. Right to him. And that might just be. I know John O'Shea think about it, but I think defensively at times, I don't think he's the best. A bit to learn. The threat of Ljungberg in the game now.
Oh, and Lauren committed himself, and Ronaldo's away behind him. He's taking on Toure. There's Vieira's leg to stop Scholes. Heading on the ball for United. Reyes. It's found it hard going. And a run on here with Silvestre. They're both quick.
Oh dear, dear, dear. No need for Reyes. What is he thinking about? Absolutely unnecessary tackle. I mean, unnecessary. I think it's a little payback time for maybe what he felt he got dished out at Old Trafford early in the season, but he's way behind the ball. He's never going to get there. He's only going to get a yellow card. Simple as that. And he did.
It's a firebrand moment, which he might live to regret. What could I do, says Rob Styles.
No, it's John O'Shea. And that just might be that they've had one or two little movements down the right-hand side, Arsenal, in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Plus the fact we don't know if he's still carrying a knock. He was down there a little earlier. Might be a combination of both.
Another great match-up. It's still goalless. Manchester United looking to retain, Arsenal to regain. Van Nistelrooy. Fletcher. Excellent ball again. Mikhail Silvestre, and Arsenal just aren't dealing with it. Rooney's being fed the sort of passes that get him into a position where he's really challenging Arsenal. It's gone against him this time, but about getting the trajectory absolutely right. Mikhail Silvestre's your man.
Time and time again, he's found him. Another referee in the frame there. No smile.
I think he's just had a tint in his hair, but it is a smile.
It's the sun doing that.
He was the referee, of course, when England went out of Euro 2004. Coming up, of course, on Sky Sports 1 on Wednesday. Milan against Liverpool. UEFA Champions League final from Istanbul. Everything you need to know about the game from 6. And then the game itself. Here's Rooney, who knows so much about the game at such a young age.
You know, players go into him. Senderos is pleading he's innocent. Don't worry, it wasn't you, mate. But Gilberto's the one who commits the free kick. He thinks he's going to win the ball as he comes in here, but Rooney just gets away from him. That's the free kick. Not that. We're approaching I would always call in a cup final the nervous 80s. You know, you can see the goal in that time.
Edgy 80s.
The nervous 80s. You can see the goal then, and you really are up against it, and we're fast approaching it.
That's the way this game's gone. One goal here. And the odds would be on being the winning goal. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's near, but nowhere near enough.
I tell you what, they get West Brown in a brilliant position, just right at the wall. And I just don't know why occasionally teams just don't slide it in there. Let it come from a different angle. But it's settled now. There was a really good spell from Manchester United. They had a 20-25 minute spell beginning of this second half where they really turned it on and turned it up, and Arsenal have hung on somehow. A little bit of good fortune,
and they're getting their semi-final hero ready, Robin van Persie, for another late entrance to the Millennium Stadium.
Well, it might be a late entry, but he might have a bit to play. He might be here for a while.
Fabregas, Ljungberg trying the trick against Fortune, who is equal to it. Here goes Ronaldo. The men in black on the move again. Fortune. drops for Ronaldo. Persistent work by Lauren, and it was risky work too. He mistimes another tackle. He could be only the second player in FA Cup final history to be sent off 20 years ago. And he remembers it well. He was on the pitch at the time, Kevin Moore of Manchester United against Everton.
He's done well to get a free kick there, Reyes. You know where he is there, stood, what is he, halfway in his own half. He was the furthest Arsenal player up the pitch.
But you know, if Arsenal steal a winner here, Arsene Wenger can say, I got the tactics right, we kept Manchester United out, which we haven't been doing in the Premiership games, playing a more gung-ho, more of a sense of adventure. And we haven't really looked like getting that one goal.
You know, they said in an interview before the game that he would pick his team, and not worry about Manchester United. I don't think he's done that today. That's what his team do, he said, and not worry about Manchester United.
Mistake by Senderos. And Rooney reacting quickly to the pass that came from it. He might still get there first, Wayne Rooney. He's barreled into a challenge and been penalised for it. And Gilberto
almost broke for him. I think he's got a right to do that, you know.
He seemed to be in front with the leg, didn't he?
I don't know. I think Gilberto was always leaning into Rooney rather than the other way around, but edge of the box, defending side normally gets the advantage.
If a defender had done that on Rooney in the penalty area, would it have been a penalty? Probably not.
No.
Senderos, but knock it long and means give it away, really, for Arsenal. Van Persie still waits. Ferdinand. Silvestre. Happy to clear it long. The flag's gone up for offside. And Nistelrooy coming from a more advanced position towards the ball.
Well, they're taking the time with Van Persie. He seems to have been stood there for quite a while now. Ready to go.
Vieira. Now Gilberto. Pires. Ball again, trying to inject some pace into Arsenal's move, but is running off the ball. Vieira to Ljungberg. Arms on the outside. Back to Vieira again. This has never really been the Arsenal way. When they're in the groove, in the zone, the passes are slick, the touches are assured. But they know that in so many aspects of this game they have been second best, but they're not on the scoreline. That's what matters at this late stage in 90 minutes in Cardiff. Gilberto. Vieira, in the end, they went for a difficult pass. It didn't get through. And Brown able to defend not once but twice.
What odds would you have got, Mr. Tyler? On 84 minutes into the game, Roy Carroll would not have made a save. Big, I think.
Ronaldo. Carry on the Star Wars analogy. He's not been a phantom menace, has he? He's been out there right from the start, Cristiano Ronaldo. Scholes. Is this the time here for Manchester United? And Lehmann doesn't get there. Rooney wants it. Keane has it. Roy Keane goes for glory. And Patrick Vieira, Keane and Vieira.
Would you believe the two of them? Both skippers, both had so much talked and written about them this week. Takes an awful long time, Roy Keane, to set himself. Well, there was actually call behind him, or Colo Toure might have blocked it. And it's another stat that Manchester United are dominating, but the one that really matters, top left-hand corner, is not changing.
But here is a chance for them to change it. Oh, and Ferdinand's going towards this. Everyone's missed it. Van Nistelrooy onto the bar. Scholes, goal kick, and
he can't believe it. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it's bounced there. Two instinctive headers. One from the front man, one from the guy in the post. And if ever anyone argues about putting two on the post, there's why you do it. Because if you don't, you lose the cup final.
famed for scoring in cup finals. He just saved a cup final here for Arsenal, at least for the time being.
It's a beautifully fighted ball. He's away, he's half away when he heads it, Van Nistelrooy. He thinks it's in.
Fabregas off. Van Persie on.
Now you just feel sure now, for the first time in the match, that... Or is it? Wait a minute. I just wonder if now Reyes is trotting over to the left. So there's a change of personnel, but Arsene Wenger, no change in system. Perez has been bullied into the middle from his boss. He's going to play infield.
Well, they're uncertain, Arsenal again. That's chopping and changing here. That's most unlike Arsene Wenger. Brown. The force is still with Manchester United. And Rooney runs into a Senderos tackle. And it's Reyes. And Percy trying to run in behind. He's been given offside.
Well, there are so many things have happened in this game that suggest Manchester United are going to win this because they've been dominant in everything. But that's not what cup finals are about.
Rooney trying to stay on his feet. That's a decision. He's got one in the shape of a corner.
One 0 to the Arsenal. There's a thing about it, isn't it? Almost gets in here. Ashley Cole just quick enough to get back, concede the corner.
Scholes clips it in. Fortune. Keane. Fortune cropping up again on the outside. Van Nistelrooy. Good strength. Oh, and it's ricocheted. Too many Arsenal players in there for a moment. They've just about dealt with it. Vieira hasn't been able to get into any sort of midfield domination in this game. But it's Pires. With the 90 minutes ebbing away. So often either Pires or Ljungberg has come up with a match-winning moment from midfield.
Well, they want extra time, Arsenal. And what they have got now, they've got two genuine players of pace up top for them. They've got Van Persie. This is the argument here. Goes at a corner. It's a tough one to judge. Even from there, that's the linesman's view of it. He gave goal kick.
Fletcher. We're in the 90th minute at Cardiff.
He asked a lot of Gilberto, who didn't really want the ball fed into him there.
He's been asked a lot of Reyes, and somehow Arsenal managed to keep it. And they get a free kick. How much stoppage time before extra time? It's not been a game of fits and starts with injuries. Toure. Laurel. Pat Rice on his feet from the Arsenal bench, urging his team to go forward.
Well, why not? Goal now, you're a cup winners. Cole.
Gilberto. Well, that's the answer. 3 minutes. Carlo Toure. Roy Carroll probably grateful to get the feel of the ball. Fletcher. Rooney, who has hit a post via the goalkeeper's fingertips in the second half. Ronaldo. Arsenal thought it was out. At least Lauren did. Ronaldo a little bit down a cul-de-sac at the end. And Paul Scholes has given him a bit of an air bashing for that. Keane's on the scene. Scholes is there. Rooney is there. Is the cup for Manchester United? No. There's a pass on to Van Nistelrooy.
Wide of him. Well, he normally sees everything. Not going to get the best look at it maybe from this angle, but look at Van Nistelrooy. He peels off Ashley Cole. He's in a great position if he's just slid the ball. Not to be.
Barnsley against West Bromwich Albion, the last goalless draw, 1912.
What? Was it really? Yeah. 1912. Manchester United fans and Alex Ferguson and his players will wonder how on earth this is still 0-0.
Fletcher. Pires. A minute or so to go before extra time in an FA Cup final for the first time since 1993, involving Arsenal there. Ronaldo, everyone's had a chase at him. Vieira this time. It's still Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a bit of an arm out then, but the free kick has gone against Vieira, and another opportunity for Manchester United late on is looming large.
That's a booking. That's a booking. You know, Ronaldo's gone past him. He's struggling, Patrick Vieira. He holds him back. Sorry, it's a booking. He's got away with that, the Arsenal skipper. It's as good a booking as you've seen today. And I don't know who he's running on, Ronaldo, but he's made so many of those runs. And I'm not talking about 15, 20 yards. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60 yards at times.
He's running on the youth.
Yeah, you're right. I forget.
You forget. Fortune takes it. Van Nistelrooy. Thomas to Rooney again. Comes out to Brown. Ferdinand had that goal disallowed in the first half. Brown crosses. Parried by Cole. Shinned away by Cole. That's how desperate it's been for Arsenal for much of the 93 minutes of regulation time. Rob Stiles is about to send us into 15 minutes each way. That's how close it is. But Brown, there's still time. And there's Ronaldo!
Oh, take it in your chest. Take it in your chest. Just down it. Knock it down in front of you.
Extra time at Cardiff. Manchester United will be just drawing breath here, wondering quite how they haven't hung on to the FA Cup. They've been the dominant force. Rooney has been constantly menacing, but we go to extra time after this short break.
No goals. The last extra time, 1993, when Arsenal played Sheffield Wednesday, and we know what happened then. Teddy Sheringham and Niall Quinn, our guest this afternoon. Ted, Manchester United have had the better chances, the only chances in truth. Do you have some concerns that they've had too many and not scored?
A little bit, yeah. We're talking up here in the studio thinking that throwing all the punches and there's a sucker punch coming from Arsenal, but this is a great effort from Rooney. He's seen that. Lehmann's given him 2 yards to maybe cut out the cross. Been very alert to it. Rooney's taken the chance to hit it in the near post there. He's meant that, don't worry about that. But it's a great save as well. Just got a little touch onto the post. Fantastic.
And late on, Niall, were it not for Freddie Ljungberg, were it not for the fact that Arsenal were marking posts, Manchester United have won this game, haven't they?
Yeah, incredible. So close. I mean, it really was. He's done well to stay in the post. Sometimes they come off. He's washed it through. Great header. Nothing wrong at all for what Van Nistelrooy has done. But they've led a charmed life. And
so now to interrupt, United are making a change. Ryan Giggs is on.
Hooray.
For Darren Fletcher.
Well, it's there for them, isn't it, Rich? I mean, that's why Giggs has come on. I think he can sense, you know, a little bit more, just a touch more, and they'll get that goal.
I'd love to see him come on and have a hand in the winner as well. He deserves it, you know, after all his success and career at Man United. I'd like to see him come on and just show the gaffer that he's the top man.
How do Arsenal win it now? Because they haven't looked like doing so.
No, not at all. I mean, I cannot remember a game when Arsenal hadn't got the shot on target. And to me, the system is a little bit wrong. It looks better now. Van Persie is on. I think he came on way too late. Felt sorry for Dennis. You have to play up there all alone, and then you get the hook. And now they've got to regroup and say to themselves, okay, let's get back to basics, knock it around a little bit, and support our front people. At the moment, Manchester United are holding the aces, but I just feel Arsenal, they've got to have a shot on target.
We're ready to go. 30 minutes more plus penalties if they still can't be separated, but it ends here today. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
The last substitute to score in an FA Cup final, Teddy Sheringham, 6 years ago.
We were there, yeah. That was an early substitution, wasn't it?
It was Roy Keane, the match that we referred to earlier when he got injured and went off. It was an early goal.
Just looking at where Ryan Giggs is lined up, he's lined up in an inside position, inside Ronaldo. So he's going to be one of the three central midfield players.
Giggs for Fletcher. Scholes for Giggs. How often have we said that down the years? We haven't said it before today.
Well, he's just found himself a great position within 10 seconds of coming on.
From Cardiff. Ryan Giggs lost his place today, lost a goal in midweek against Arsenal in February. It's gone down as an Ashley Cole own goal. Finally, the Premier League dubious goals panel ruled on that.
I think that's just about the worst throw I've ever seen. In the top end of the pitch. You'd have thought that was a defender throwing it back there.
So Van Persie, this was the end he was attacking when he scored those two brilliant goals against Blackburn.
Well, Niall Quinn talked about the change and maybe change of system, but it hasn't changed for them. In that respect, it's still going to be the one up top, and he's still going to have to get support. Well, you guess from certainly four midfield players. I would guess Gilbert will be the one to hold.
It's a cracking kick from Carroll, and more wonderful control from Rooney. Well, again, got to be careful, and it's bounced back against Wayne Rooney, and it's a goal kick. If anyone deserves to win this FA Cup final on performances today,
he's been up there.
He has been up there.
And he's done all his work from that right-hand side. And
why?
Well, because the manager and the coaches have decided this is the way United are playing. I just feel if you've got a Rooney like this playing centrally or more centrally from his start position, he won't play on right side. I mean, I'd be amazed if that ever happened.
Now he's got Andy Johnson, hasn't he? Here's Roy Carroll. Lauren. Gilberto. Did you notice the teams prepared for extra time, Andy, any difference in maybe the fatigue levels?
Well, there were far more Arsenal players down, getting the legs shaking, trying to get some life into them, and that's because they've chased the ball. And we all know, we talk about it in football, it's a much more physically demanding game if you don't have the ball. And Arsenal have not had the ball for long spells in this game. But I don't think that means anything now. I think that Arsenal know they've gotten out of jail. Not a doubt about it. They know they've gotten out of jail. Arsene Wenger should have been stressing that. You have a second chance, boys. Do not blow it. Show people what you can do and what you're made of.
Carroll's clearance. And it's just a case of presenting the ball back to Arsenal. One side proved to be the fresher in the extra 30 minutes here. They played a penalty shootout, of course, in a previous Community Shield, these two, which Manchester United won. Tim Howard, not Roy Carroll, was in goal for United that day. I believe it was his debut, as it was for Jens Lehmann for Arsenal. Keane. Sylvestre. Scholes. Just a little lull in the tempo in these early minutes. Ljungberg. Vieira. Cole going up on the outside of Reyes. Perez. Ljungberg. Manchester United just holding off from the pass comes at Ashley Cole's a little too eager.
Yeah, just drifted ahead, got ahead. You know, sometimes extra time periods just sort of drift away. I don't think there's as much of a chance of this one doing that.
Van Nistelrooy. This last piece of silverware for the season domestically is still up for grabs. Giggs. Sandy Ross, I must say, has looked pretty comfortable in difficult circumstances and been preferred to Sol Campbell. Arsene Wenger knows he's for the present as well as for the future. Reyes. Some help.
You see the arms go out there? Almost pleading for some support.
Ljungberg. Now Lauren. Arsenal's turn to have the ball for a sequence of play. And it's played through midfield. It's rarely been beyond that for them. It's not been the case for Manchester United, who really will be feeling that they should have retained the FA Cup in the 90 minutes with the power of their attacking play. Gilberto.
Plenty of possession, no penetration. This is it. They'll probe and hope that somebody at the back from Manchester United switch off, and they'll try and play the pass. But it's possession that's going nowhere at the moment.
You need to look at the scoreline and think it's a match will be decided by a hair's breadth, but it hasn't been that sort of game. I mean, here Arsenal now have a free kick and a chance, at least to give Roy Carroll a problem or two.
Well, if he's fouled him, and he shouldn't have done, the only thing I can think of is got a hold of him. And I see the arm round the chest there a little.
Marginal.
Yeah, it's generous, isn't it?
And it's a free kick to Arsenal, who by their standards have not been at the races. Manchester United's wall has to go back a few yards more.
I'll tell you, this is a good range. I mean, it's far enough out that you can get some power in it, and it's far enough up that by getting over the wall you can get it down again. But can Arsenal find a shot on target, and can the first one be the opening goal? That would be a story.
The responsibility rests with Robin van Persie, and Carroll was on the right side of the goal, but it was really the best attempt in anger from Arsenal Football Club, and it's waited until 7 minutes into the first period of extra time.
Well, that's a decent enough hit, but going that side of goal, we expect the goalkeeper to save it. Comfortable in the end.
And Arsenal chalk up a corner for the first time in extra time. Here's Laura to Gilberto. Told to chip it in, but Ferdinand's there. He had Sylvester in front of him. Giggs heads away. It's held up for Scholes, who was a bit more tenacious in the tackle than Lauren. And now it's Keane and Gilberto, and it's Arsenal's throw.
Yeah, don't you have to win that? He gets that tackle wrong, and he's booked.
It hasn't been a final of blood and thunder. It's been a carefully thought out approach from both camps, and it's still looking for a decisive moment. Brown and Rooney took it cleverly on the outside of the foot. He got that one wrong, the boy wonder. Incidentally, England will not have him for their tour of the United States. They agreed that he needs a rest. As much as 19-year-olds ever need a rest, I guess he could justify the demands on Wayne Rooney. A bit of time on a beach. I hope he gets it in privacy, but I doubt it. Toure.
You just look at Manchester United and you just wonder, has that effort taken a lot out of them? Because certainly haven't had the same zip since the start of this extra time.
Van Nistelrooy regaining it here, but Giggs, we tend to just expect even the great players to slip into it when they come on as a substitute. It's never easy. Van Persie, pressed back by Manchester United, and the right foot not quite as good as the left. It's got a bit of a jar around the shoulder as well. Here's Scholes. Keane.
A few tired legs about. But the one thing that will cost the final might just be a tired mind.
Keane seeing a channel in which to release the ball and try and release Giggs. Ryan Giggs again. Van Nistelrooy hit to goal, waved away again. An emphatic gesture from Rob Styles.
Ooh, that was close.
Giggs, there's a reflection on that. Toure was able to just reposition. Ronaldo missed it. Keane didn't. Van Nistelrooy forces off in front of Kolo Toure. Giggs. It's Wayne Rooney round the back. Rooney gets it down, and Cole gets the angle for his challenge and made sure that the angle for Rooney's shot was a difficult one, but he thought Rooney had handled in the first place.
Yeah, he got away with one. I think it was touch and go. This one it skips up. But he certainly wanted Rooney. It looked to here, from here, certainly as he just stretched the arm out a little to help control it.
3 minutes left in the first period of extra time, 0-0. Fortune. Brown. Leo Ferdinand stayed forward. Andy Linnigan, the last defender to score in an FA Cup final for Arsenal. Rooney comes out to Ferdinand again. Paul Scholes is there, beaten away by Lehmann. Oh, it could have run back in off Perez, but it's gone behind for a corner. And Lehmann again keeps Arsenal on level terms.
Big save. I think he's made two great saves at hugely important times in this game. Wonderful skill from Scholes, and again it's pure instinct from the Arsenal goalkeeper. Brilliant block.
Again they line up on the edge of the area, Manchester United, for a Paul Scholes corner. In fact, Giggs has moved across from there to collect shortish. Scholes. Oh, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
You look surprised. I'm amazed. He cannot believe he's missed that. This is bread and butter. This is Van Nistelrooy's area. Look at the way he just keeps himself on side. 6 yards out. He's tried to head it. Let it guide it off your head. No power needed. What? Swings ahead at it. Turns his head. Just trying to hit you. Stiff neck. Pick your spot.
Brown. Arsenal escape again.
You can't keep missing them. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot keep missing chances like that in a cup final.
Scholes to Giggs. It's a brilliant pass. Call for handball on Toure. Giggs rather played it against the Arsenal man. Certainly that's what Arsenal will think. That's what Rob Styles has indicated. But again, another ball that threatened to unhinge Arsenal, and there's been so little from them at the other end of the pitch. This time Scholes does lose the sense of radar.
Well, I think there's enough distance between Giggs and Kolo Toure here to give the referee a decision, but that's not a penalty. I think if it went straight to the arm that was out, then you'd have a real big decision to make. The fact that I think it comes off his thigh and then onto his arm, no way. Good decision again.
Well, here is a player who's leaving. Highbury Edu has decided to head elsewhere, probably to Valencia. And Robert Pires, scorer of an FA Cup final winning goal only 2 years ago, the last time Arsenal won it. He is replaced by the Brazilian.
Now that makes sense, because Manchester United have upped it again, and Pires is not the best defensively. How they've missed that boy. Pires is not the best defensively. Edu will do better in that job, and he'll still get forward. He'll still contribute in that part of the pitch.
Gilberto. Between them, Andy, these two clubs have scored 217 goals this season. It's certainly a lecture for Scholes.
It didn't seem much of a tackle, if I'm being honest. Just kind of shuffled into the back of him. I don't know where it was caught in his calf, or looks like that's the area.
Well, I know there are 15 minutes to go, and it's a risky thing to say, but I would like to commend Rob Stiles on the way he's refereed this FA Cup final.
I'll tell you what, though, you have to commend as well the players. They've made the job easy for them.
Sure.
They really have. They've been great. I think Manchester United have read and listened to all that's been said and written about them this week, particularly from Arsenal players, saying that if they play football they can't win. Well, that may still be the case, but for the best part of this match they played Arsenal off the pitch.
Well, they're representing themselves first and foremost, then their clubs, and then of course the good name of English football. But here we are, with 105 minutes gone, and Van Nistelrooy, a chance in extra time. His header late in 90 minutes, his effort that Ljungberg headed against the bar. Alex Ferguson will feel that his team continues to be the more likely.
But the best team does not always win a cup tie or a cup final. And maybe Arsenal think they're owed one for that 2001 cup final against Liverpool. Maybe they just think they're owed one. Maybe it's the day.
So where's an Arsenal goal going to come from, though?
Where is a goal going to come from?
Yeah.
Who says it has to come from the game?
Well, you mean he might on the penalty shootout?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's more likely to go Arsenal's way from that than what we've seen right from the off, really, Dave. Well, as Arsene Wenger, is he complaining about some bad behaviour on the bench from their rivals?
They're all trying to get some bottles of liquid on. I just think that in a cup final like this, I don't see why you have to turn around straight away. I don't see why you just give them a couple of minutes just to throw a couple of bottles on, have a quick drink and then get set.
Here we go again. "15 minutes away from the first FA Cup ever to be decided on a penalty shootout." Gilberto.
You know, but hasn't this been very typical of Manchester United's season, Martin, in respect to another game where they really have dominated? They've created chances, an abundance of them, and yet it's still 0-0.
It's a misjudgment there by Toure. Giggs, and Nistelrooy trying to get there in the near post. He's missed it. It's another opportunity that's gone a-begging for Manchester United. And here's Reyes finding some space. Ljungberg tracks some defenders towards the centre, and there's room for Robin van Persie. Now Edu. Vieira. Toure. Senderos. And Vieira. Ljungberg's trying from the left. Edu. Whip one in towards Robin van Persie. Was his only target, really.
Ruud van Nistelrooy was an up-and-down season, but he's had 2 magnificent chances in extra time.
Van Persie. Sticking to the cause, no lack of concentration there from Ferdinand. And Keane and Ronaldo through the centre, and it's come off Senderos. Lehmann has read it very well against Ryan Giggs. He's had a really great game, Jens Lehmann.
Yeah, I don't think Giggs did a lot there. He almost pulled out. I thought Ryan Giggs would go to ground and slide in and block tackle him, because it can go anywhere. And I think the only thing that happens here is after he kicks it, Lehmann, obviously he's going to crash into Giggs, but that's what happens.
That's a play on, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get it because it's a goalkeeper. I think we have to say that. And if it was up the other end, I think the referee would have made the same decision.
Giggs looks up at the big scoreboards here. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Their supporters are getting their second win as the players try and do the same. Reyes letting it run. Edu. Ferdinand wants this FA Cup winners' medal.
Well, I've not seen a poorer Arsenal performance in a cup final or a big match for a long time. I mean that. Well, they got 1 on target, quadruple the attempts, 9 times the amount on target. It's a staggering statistic. Well, it doesn't matter to us. Sorry, Martin, it doesn't matter to Arsenal, because all they need, and I've said it, is a little chance, there's one movement, there's a bit of magic, and the guy will be chiseling Arsenal's name on that wonderful piece of silverware again.
Ljungberg, Vieira. Gilberto scored a couple of goals on this ground. The last Arsenal goal was here against Manchester United in the Community Shield. Ljungberg. Obviously disappointed at being omitted from the starting 11, but trying to play his part on the time in the match that really matters. Van Persie, Reyes, and Silvestri's across him. And Reyes has got to be careful here. He could be off, you know.
I'll tell you what, that's, I mean, all right, impetuosity of youth, I guess. But he's not playing the ball. I mean, people have made much of tackles. That's a horrible tackle. There's no intention of playing the ball there. The only intention was of playing the player.
Yeah. I think he's going to be dealt with leniently by a referee who has really worked his way up the ladder with the letter of the law being applied.
Yeah, I think he doesn't, rightly, he doesn't want to spoil the showpiece, but that was close. That was close.
Minutes left, and then penalties in the Millennium Stadium. Toure. Ronaldo. Lehmann.
How could that have gone out? How could that have gone out? Did that not cross the front of the goal?
It did.
He's furious.
It went between the goal and Lehmann, who
we'll see
come out too far.
How's that gone out? I mean, do me a favour. How has that gone out?
Well, it hasn't. Nobody needs to do you a favour.
But he's nearly scored.
I was wondering if it was going in between Lehmann and his near post.
Well, you imagine if the goalkeeper had tried to save that and just got fingertips on him.
Brown. Ferdinand. It's been the long haul here. A season that started with these two clubs clashing in the Community Shield on this ground. It seems a long time ago. It seems a long time ago that we kicked off here in the FA Cup final. Edu. Reyes. Such has been the rivalry here. Arsenal have never overcommitted. And here's a chance to get someone into the penalty area. Edu's in there, Ljungberg's in there. Blocked by Keane. Trying to prevent a corner and has done so.
He did well, Roy Keane.
For all they put into this game, the attacking force has been almost exclusively with Manchester United. Here come Arsenal. Still in it. Edu. Vieira. Edu. And Cole. Scholes. Not his first offence, and for persistent infringement, he gets a yellow card.
Well, there's a couple of Manchester United players around him. You understand why. But there's nothing the referee can do about Paul Scholes. It's not that tackle, as you said quite rightly. It's a combination of 4 or 5 that he's got away with.
Well, we might have had penalties in 1993 in the replay between Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday, and a fella called Andy Linnigan scored right at the end. I suppose his equivalent in this team is Philippe Senderos. And Percy takes it. Oh, it's just scrambled away from Edu by Keane.
That arrived at him very quickly, Roy Keane, and he somehow sorted his feet out.
This is Van Persie. And Keane is there to break up the play again. And Persie wants it back again. Brown's back pass. Sylvestre, and on to Fortune. They're working their way out well here, Manchester United. And Ljungberg goes down, claiming that he's been elbowed in the face, and this could be the first really explosive moment of the FA Cup final.
Well, he's given the free kick against Fortune, but it's a Ljungberg and Quinton Fortune coming together. It's attracted all the attention in the game that's really had nothing. As they come together here to just put... It's not an elbow. Do me a favour. You see that time and time again. People put their arm across people. That's as bad. What Gilberto's just done to Fortune.
It's almost as if, for the most part here, the damp weather has dampened down the potential for over-exuberance. Wenger taking the opportunity with Rob Stiles close to him to make a point to the referee.
Sometimes West Arsenal just get on with it. You know, I think too much can be said about certain things. Every single tackle you can't complain and moan about.
And it was the follow-up by Fortune, wasn't it, that the free kick's been given for?
Yeah, but I don't think that's what's annoying them all. Quinton Fortune, you won't want to get Arsenal players riled up in any way because they've been flat at times.
Gilberto.
You need some inspiration from somewhere, and it might be something like that that gives him a little shot now, a little boost.
And Arsenal so buoyant, particularly in those home wins recently against the two clubs from Merseyside. And this has almost looked at a game too far for them this season, and yet they could still regain the FA Cup. Seen as a foul by Rooney. It would have been a corner in any case. extra intensity now.
6-1 again. Some you get, some you don't. Arsenal have. You talked about not looking likely for an Arsenal goal, but you don't need to be playing well to score from a set play.
Could this be the moment when Arsenal overturn all the odds that have looked against them in this game? Van Persie, Manchester United lining up. Ljungberg lines it up, but maybe distracted by a player coming out at him. I think Wes Brown got closest.
Yeah, Wes Brown and Vieira were having a right good ding-dong in there. It was great. Vieira's trying to get some space, and Brown's right in his face, trying to battle with him. But, you know, you've seen Ljungberg do better. I just think sometimes when it comes down, there are so many players in your way. It's just a wild thrash at the end.
Vieira's header off the back of Giggs's head. Van Persie, who is the son of an artist, incidentally, with some artistic footwork there in the football sense. Tim Howard is doing some limbering up.
Don't tell me you didn't change a goalie for penalties, are you?
It was Howard, of course, who came out on top against Arsenal in the Community Shield shootout. Ronaldo, we might not need penalties. Oh, there's a trip there by Vieira. That'll be a card. Fortunately for him, it's his first of the afternoon. And the capacity to win it by orthodox methods is still there in extra time, but there's only a couple of minutes to go. And in terms of chances created, Manchester United do deserve to win this FA Cup final.
Since when was football ever fair?
Especially in the FA Cup.
Since when was it ever fair?
Giggs. Lost it very well.
We didn't have. Oh, break on here. Break on if we can spread it other side.
Reyes, Edu, Scholes into the back of Reyes. No foul, otherwise Scholes could have been in hot water. Now Rooney and Vieira. And Rob Stars in trying to keep 11 against 11, and I think that is a decent attitude. Just giving one or two players a little bit of an extra license. But anyway, we're nearly to the penalties when being a man short doesn't really enter the equation. It's a free kick to Manchester United. They've been front foot forward for most of the 2 hours of football here. They haven't got a goal to show for it.
Well, if they get one now, there's no way back, is there? No way back. And now they do have a left footer on, of course, and Giggs. Something they did possess. It's
and Fortune as well, but he's moved away.
It's quite a way out. But you have to be special to beat a goalkeeper who's in top form.
Well, the 2 hours are up. And Paul Scholes strikes it. Ljungberg seemed to have turned his back, but will still be 2 added minutes. And Ronaldo's feet are still twinkling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the FA Cup Final 2005, man of the match as chosen by the FA is Wayne Rooney from Manchester United.
Wayne Rooney has been announced as the man of the match. The Football Association making the choice here. Sylvestre.
That's a poor goal. One of his first today.
That's a fine tackle on Scholes. But the whistle has gone. Is that for a free kick to Arsenal?
Yes, it is. Pull back in the shot. And again, there's one or two that Scholes and Vieira treading on thin ice, but I don't see any. I need to do something really, really wrong now. The referee, who's, I have to be honest, never been one of my favourites, but I think he's done a good job today, a really good job. An awful lot said about him this week, of course.
Couldn't agree with you more. Van Persie. He's given it to the newly announced man of the match, Wayne Rooney. Well, he's almost certain to have a penalty to take. But here come Arsenal. Haven't said that very often today. Gilberto, but Fortune gets it and realised that he could give it to Ronaldo and bomb on himself down the left-hand side.
Oh, that's a bad tackle. That's Reyes again. He stuck his arm, much like... Oh, he's sending him off, is he? He's going.
Reyes is off. Only the second player in the entire history of finals of this competition to go. He follows Kevin Moore from 20 years ago. And it was coming really for somebody, as you suggested. And it's Jose Antonio Reyes.
You see, he said a huge big word with him with that, was it the tackle on Sylvester away in the corner, when he quite clearly, with no intention of playing the ball. Rob Stills might easily have sent him off then. But again, it's that Ronaldo, he was away, he shoved the arm across his face. The referee deemed it a bookable offence, and it's hard to find an argument that says he was wrong, the referee.
Well, that's a second for the FA Cup. This is a first, a piece of history. A penalty shootout. It had to happen, I guess, once they decided that replays would be redundant. And Arsene Wenger, whose approach has shaped much of this match, really.
You see where the referee was, and he sees the arm go across, much like it was a Quentin Fortune and all that. It's a thing that they do, but only normally when you do it, you get the ball. And I think what he's judged as he was coming in without the ball. He stopped Ronaldo making that run through. That's what I said earlier about Vieira's challenge on him, or through in the far side when he's holding back. That was borderline bookable offence.
Well, let's hear from Richard and the guys in the studio.
Teddy Sheringham, now Quinted, you've been involved in an FA Cup shootout this season. Stakes plainly were not as high as this, but as we now await for a decision on which end, and that will be decided by the toss of a coin, what goes through a player's mind at this stage?
Don't ask me what I'd do, Richard. I've missed my penalty, so I better move on to Quinny.
I didn't take one ever.
But what's going through your mind as you prepare for this situation?
I think if you're a non-penalty taker, I think the manager would probably go around and tell you to, look, just pick your spot, make sure you put it there, make sure you put it there very firmly, you've got half a chance of scoring. I think if you start changing your mind in this situation, you end up having a feeble penalty and you think, oh, if only. You know, if you put the penalty where you want to put it, you've got an 80% chance of scoring as such, really.
I think you've got to be really positive, Richard, and that's the thing. You know, pick your spot, don't think of anything else, just, you know, you need it. It's one more kick this season for most of them, and you just got to get it right.
I wonder if anybody dared plan for this situation.
Oh, well, I think they will have done, of course. I mean, you'll have guys taking penalties every day after training at football clubs. But now, the reality of it, that's one thing you cannot create on a training ground. You cannot create the tension, the pressure. Sometimes players practice penalties, they have a bit of fun, the keeper saves one here and there. But this is all about bottle now.
Is he one of the five?
Knowing Keeney, I would think he will be, without a doubt. There's some good strikers with a ball out there, though, so I don't know whether he'd be in the top five. But knowing him, I would expect him to put himself forward and take a penalty.
This is an extraordinary situation. We did say some time back we thought it might go all the way. It has. There's been nothing between them in truth.
I think Man United have edged it, though. I think they've deserved to win. They've thrown all the punches. I can't remember Roy Carroll having to make a save. So he'll have to start working now, won't he?
He's got important saves to make now, hasn't he? I mean, it's incredible. I mean, quite fair. I mean, I came here as an ex-Arsenal player, and met a lot of Arsenal people, and I had a tendency to go that way. But I'd have to hold my hand up and say how Manchester United have not won it before now. It's almost incredible. I mean, they've rolled their luck all day, Arsenal, and we said it. Ted himself, we were here watching it. Stinks is the word we use. This stinks for Man United people because it just, you feel Arsenal are going to nick it, but they didn't even do that in real time.
Here we go. Which end will this be? I wonder if we can hear. Well, we know which end, and we know that Manchester United will take the first kick. We also know that with Arsenal down to 10, one of Manchester United's 11 will have to miss out should it get that far. We've never seen anything like this. For the last trophy of the season, it's all come down to a shootout. Arsenal seem to have sorted themselves out. They've taken the centre circle already. It's penalties at the end that Manchester United were allocated ahead of this game, in front of their supporters. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Well, it's been an experience for Arsenal. They've been through this season. They knocked out Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on penalties, but Jens Lehmann wasn't the goalkeeper. It was Almunia in that match. But it looked as though the toss of the coins both went Manchester United's way.
They did, Mark.
Choice of ends and choice to go first, and their arch penalty taker, an arch rival of Arsenal, Ruud van Nistelrooy, is the first man up. Rob Stars is just giving the goalkeepers, I would think, a strong indication of what he expects in terms of staying on the line. It's always an issue in these shootouts.
Yeah, that would be exactly it, I think. The linesman will have been told. And I'm not talking about a foot off the line now, half a step. I think if they come out a couple of yards, then we'll find that it'll be retaken.
Lehmann saved the Van Nistelrooy penalty on this very ground, in this very goal, in the Community Shield shootout less than 2 years ago. Van Nistelrooy, of course, has had successes since then, and he has a success here. And it's 1-0 in the shootout to Manchester United.
I'll tell you what, nerves of steel these boys are going to have now. Great penalty. I mean, his concentration there as he was stood waiting to take it was just unbelievable. And as Teddy Sheringham said, pick your spot, and the one thing you mustn't do is not hit it powerfully. Surprise number one for you?
Not at all.
No?
No, he was first up at Bramall Lane, and he's taken penalties galore in shootouts in international competition for Cameroon. And he scored 2 out of 2, both against Spurs, incidentally, in the Premiership. And that's the way he does it.
Good boys. Well, the one Manchester United player that's going to miss out should it go that far will be Wes Brown. He's been sacrificed to be on the bench. I think that would have been me shouting to go and go there. I'd have been playing. It's a great penalty. Follow those two boys, I would think I would be saying.
And Lawrence, one of those who waits for the goalkeeper to commit. He's somehow got that inner belief. So Paul Scholes, who's been through so much with Manchester United, so much success. He takes the second. Oh, and Lehmann has done it! A splendid save.
Well, you just get that feeling. Made so many big saves in the game, kept his side in it. Guess he's right, it's not right in the corner, it's at a good height. And someone who has scored so many hugely important goals for Manchester United comes up short.
Just gave him that side, didn't he? Just favoured the other way, went towards the other post and said, put it there. Scholes obliged. Freddie Ljungberg to put Arsenal in front, which he does with those nerves of steel.
This is a different one. Again, he waits, and he just thinks it straight down the middle. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a bad penalty when you score, I'll tell you. No such thing. Scholes has struck his more firmly. No luck. Big, big one, this. Big one.
For a very young man in the game, Cristiano Ronaldo, a shimmy, a shake, and a goal. 2-2.
different. Each has his own way and his own belief in what to do. I think the key in modern day football is always try and get the goalkeeper going the wrong way, don't you think? You know, invariably if they go the right way, they come very close unless it's high to saving it.
Robin van Persie made his Arsenal debut here against Manchester United in the Community Shield. It's his first season in English football. And now he has to end it in this dramatic set of circumstances, but he scores. And Arsenal still lead, 3-2.
Now that's the one I talked about. If the keeper goes the right way and it's high enough, they very, very rarely get up to get there. It's beautifully struck, firm, high. Goalkeeper's dive, it always goes low. The difference, Scholes and Van Persie, he got the height, Paul Scholes didn't.
Wayne Rooney.
We talk about Wayne Rooney, man of the match announced, and I thought, oh no, not before penalties.
Well, he did waste a penalty in a Premiership game against Crystal Palace. It didn't cost Manchester United at Old Trafford. And he's hammered it in. It was almost as if Lehmann said, I'll flinch out of the way.
Well, I've seen some great penalties, and I take my hat off to them. Full marks to the players. I think the Lehmann goes the right way, gets nowhere near it either. Full marks, held on nerve. People say you can't practice them, but you can, trust me.
Ashley Cole scored at Sheffield United, also scored in England's shootout in Euro 2004, but was a loser then. What he did do is, on both occasions, rolled it to the goalkeeper's right. But he's placed it to the goalkeeper's right this time, and Arsenal are getting ever closer.
No, he's got nowhere near any of them, has he? Nowhere near any of them. Another great penalty.
And Roy Keane is coming up, Andy.
I just wonder, will it be Patrick Vieira? Well, Arsenal's last one.
Every chance.
The two big boys. Keane shot off the line by Vieira. The battles I've had over the years. It comes down to this.
In his 7th FA Cup final. Here goes Roy Keane, and he keeps Manchester United alive.
And here comes Vieira.
Any trace of nerves. Patrick Vieira also scored at Bramall Lane and also took a penalty in the competition to get Arsenal to the final. He scored against Wolverhampton Wanderers in round 4. If he scores here, he goes up to get the FA Cup, but it sounds simple, it certainly isn't. Roy Carroll, who hasn't got a contract for Manchester United for next season. This could be his very last involvement with the club. Here goes the Arsenal skipper, and there goes the cup, back to Highbury. They've whisked it away from Manchester United and left them empty-handed from this campaign. Extraordinary. On the receiving end for much of the match. And now this.
Well, I told you football's never fair. But who, do you think they care? And why should they?
Faultless in the shootout, 5 out of 5 at the Manchester United end.
Well, I bet he can't believe it, but it's not a place for losers, it's a place for winners, and he has another trophy to put in the cabinet, to put on his CV. Most unlikely of wins, but I said earlier, maybe they thought they were owed one after the Liverpool game here 3 or 4 years ago. Well, they owed their luck, and they owed their goalkeeper. They owed their goalkeeper big time, and that's why, as soon as Vieira put it in, off they went to Lehmann. They know he's the man that kept him in the game.
3 wins from 4 finals in South Wales. Arsenal undoubtedly the kings of Cardiff. A 10th triumph, just one behind their victims today now. A 4th for Arsene Wenger, only one behind Sir Alec again now. And a hat-trick of winners' medals for several of the players. Captain, beaten manager. They hate to lose. And let's get some reaction from down at pitch level.
Patrick, how's it feel to score the winning penalty in the first ever shootout in a cup final?
I think we did fantastically, really well. during the game it was quite really difficult. You have to give them a credit because we didn't create so many chances during the game. More credit to them, but I think we show a fantastic spirit. It was really difficult for us, but we fight until the end, and we make it and we win it like that. It's fantastic for us.
How did you feel when you walked up to take that penalty?
I was strong on my mind. We practiced it a little bit, so today is a fantastic day for us.
That's a hat-trick of trophies at this stadium. You must love it here.
Yeah, it's fantastic for us.
Go and celebrate.
Well, he said stay strong. Tears of defeat for Rio Ferdinand and company. More reaction down below with Jeff Shreves and our team of reporters.
Gilberto Werner, you won the FA Cup, but was it going to plan?
No, just rest, you know, and celebrate with our fans. And congratulate for the team, you know, we did very well today. And the game was fantastic, you know. Congratulations to Manu because they play really well as well, too. But actually today show how strong we are. Well done.
How concerned were you? Manchester United were dominating the game for 2 hours.
Oh, had good moments in the game, no. But they got the ball most of the time. But we were strong to defend, you know, and difficult their job. And now we are champion, you know. It's happened in football. And not every time who has got the time more, you know, win the game. We show that today.
Go and have your champagne.
Yeah.
Ashley, how does that feel? You must love this stadium. That's a hat-trick now.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think we deserved it. We battled hard and maybe didn't have the chances, but again, as I said, battled hard and we'll go just a reward.
How much do you owe to your goalkeeper?
Oh, again, he's been magnificent today. There's a lot of criticism, but we were always behind him and knew how good he was, and today's proved it.
How difficult was it for you? Booked early on and up against Wayne Rooney. Was it a tricky game?
Yeah, I think I didn't mean to tackle him like that, but it was a little bit too quick for me, and I knew I couldn't go into any more tackles, and I thought I'd done all right.
Having won nothing this season, how much pressure was there going into this?
Yeah, I think there was a lot. I think whoever would have lost it would have been disappointing season, so we're just happy that we won it.
Well done, Ashley.
Well, that might encourage Ashley Cole to pledge his future to Arsenal. They've had some difficulties going into this game, and some of the stories that's been coming out of their camp. Robert Pires is apparently unhappy as well, but he's got another winner's medal. But as for Manchester United, Andy, they've not been able to deliver the new owners their first piece of silverware. It's a blow to the United brand, as the marketing men call it.
Yeah, it will be a huge blow. But there's life in the team. I think we saw that today. This is hard to take. I think when you play in finals and you play poorly and you get beaten, then it's not easy to accept, but it's easier. You know, I was surprised to hear Ashley Cole say he thought they deserved it. I thought they got battered really at times, and they were lucky in a lot of occasions where the keeper made great saves. People will tell you that's what he's there for. But you know, Ruud van Nistelrooy, 2 chances that he would normally gobble up. I think they rode the luck, but they held their nerve with penalties, absolutely.
No more so than Patrick Vieira, who of course missed out when the cup was last held up by Arsenal. He joined in at the end, but he didn't play in the game. David Seaman did the honours. Freddie Ljungberg has the champagne. And let's hear from Jens Lehmann, who's certainly been an Arsenal hero today.
Jens, you had some disappointing moments this season. Does that make up for it?
Sorry, what did you ask me?
You had some disappointing moments this season. Does this more than make up for it?
Well, I think I had disappointment moments in every season of my life. And when I came back in the team, I looked at our table, I looked at the Champions League, and I looked at the FA Cup. And at least I said to myself, at least I have to win the FA Cup, because I'm a little bit old, was 35 now. I run out of time, so I had to win it.
Was that the dream you clung on to then when you were out of the team?
One of the dreams, yeah.
The penalty save from Paul Scholes, did you guess? Did you read it? How did you do it?
Well, I guess, yeah, and I think it's penalty shootout is quite tactically, so I had to go there.
Is it all about a battle of the minds between the goalkeeper and the taker?
I think so, yeah.
And how proud are you that you've saved a penalty in the first ever penalty shootout in an FA Cup final? Words fail you, I understand.
I didn't consider it, but well, it's a good feeling, and the most important thing is that we have won it. It sums up the season, and that's very good for us. So we have won the title last year, we have won the title this year, and we can go on like this into the next season.
Well done, go and get the trophy.
Thank you.
Yes, Jens Lehmann, who lost his place to Almunia and said he came back fresher. He adjusted his training. He certainly kept going very well since then. Thierry Henry amongst the Arsenal fans here, who for a couple of hours must have wondered whether these scenes would materialise, because Manchester United... And Andy, are we going to call this a triumph for Arsene Wenger's tactics?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think he got it right.
A justification.
A justification, yeah. Yeah, the ends justifies the means, I guess. People will look at it and say, but no, I think this is one of the poorest Arsenal performances I've seen. And I think, you know, that had a lot to do with A, how Manchester United played, and B, because Arsenal didn't do the things that have gotten them all the trophies, all the plaudits for their silky attacking football. It never happened. I'm just thinking of one question, I don't know, you might be able to answer it. Reyes, I know in '85 Kevin Moran didn't get allowed to get his medal.
No, that should be the case here today.
So Reyes won't get presented with his medal, that's what you're thinking?
It's up to the FA committee at the end to decide whether he's worthy of having one, but he's not allowed. That's, as I understand it, by the protocol of the event, and I think that should be the case, really. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Manchester United go up. We've seen enough from the old order in their team to understand that they'll want to have another go at it. But the new order played very well. Rooney and Ronaldo can leave this final with their heads held high. Rio Ferdinand, of course, will be a bastion of the defence for many years to come, so he says. Rob Styles has finished his, well, an ordeal, some would say, but I'm sure for him the culmination of all the work that's gone into getting to be asked to take charge. And he was telling me before the game, Andy, he's looked at the names of all the other referees in the FA Cup finals on the list and the books that keep such things, and he says, I'll be there next year, you know, and you can imagine you're there as an FA Cup winner, even 21 years on. You must be thrilled to have your name in the Roll of Honour.
Huge highlight.
Yeah.
And it should be. Looking forward to hearing Sir Alex Ferguson interviewed after the game. I'm looking forward to hearing both managers, both thoughts and how they felt it went.
Well, Arsenal won't want to see the back of the Millennium Stadium. It's been a great ground for them. 3 FA Cup wins here, and in their one failure they really should have put Liverpool out of range.
Well, was Reyes there? Can I see him just at the back there? Sol Campbell coming up. I'm not sure, I think. Is that? Or is that Fabregas? I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure.
Well, Fabregas has gone through. He's got his medal. Gilberto after Colo Touré. Edu, it's a happy farewell to Highbury for him. One more year to go at Highbury, of course. Dennis Bergkamp hopes he's back for that season.
Reyes gets his. And he goes through shot.
There you are.
How are the people on the podium going to know who's supposed to get a medal and who's not in that situation?
Prince Michael of Kent doing the honours of Royal Field. A less than Royal Arsenal performance, but a winning performance. And against their arch rivals, Arsenal had the last laugh for this season at least. The FA Cup goes back to Highbury, and at a time when earlier trophy had just fetched £500,000 at auction, this is one you just cannot put a price on. Enormous value at the time when Arsenal, you feel, needed a sense of well-being. It was a great day to be a winner. It's a tough one to be a loser, particularly as you played as Manchester United had. but it's been decided on penalties Arsenal's way after a 0-0 at Cardiff. Richard.
Extraordinary. Arsenal have their hands on the FA Cup once again. We're not finished at the Millennium Stadium yet. More reaction to come next. So little, if anything, between them over the past decade or so. It all came down today to a penalty shootout. Paul Scholes saw his penalty saved. It was the second of 5 for Manchester United. Patrick Vieira made sure for the Gunners, who scored 5 out of 5. And the FA Cup is on its way back to Highbury. Here's the manager with Jeff Shreves.
Arsene, well done, you've won the cup. It took extra time and penalties. Were you a little bit fortunate?
Yes, in the second half. I feel Man United played well and we needed to dig deep. We had a drop physically since our last game already, and we just kept it tight. And as long as nobody scored, you know, nobody was in a position where they had to go out. And we didn't create a lot, but our mental strength got us through.
You've played 4-4-2 most of the season. What made you change your formation today?
Well, because we have been beaten at Highbury by being a little bit open in the middle of the park, and we wanted not that to happen today, so we played it tighter. And we knew we were a bit less support up front, but it worked.
And as Manchester United dominated the game, were you not tempted to change it at all during the game, or were you quite comfortable as long as it was 0-0?
Yes, no, I tried to put more offensive support in by putting Pires in, Van Persie, Reyes and Ljungberg, but we still didn't create many chances because Man United was very strong physically today.
We've got the second leg of the League Two playoff between Northampton and Southend on the way in a couple of minutes from now. Before we ask whether they deserved it, you first of all got to say, well done Arsenal, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah, it's wonderful to win that. Means a lot to them. I know having finished the season with no silverware would hurt. It'll hurt Manchester United, but yes, he's right there. Mental strength, got themselves through. Great team spirit of that club, and you hold your hats off to them. And the goalkeeper in particular, difficult year for him, and he's the hero. And funny one though, I mean, to win a cup and not have a shot on target, it's amazing.
Well, there was one, wasn't there? The free kick second half.
Oh, the free kick, I beg your pardon.
It is an extraordinary finish. Ted, will it hurt more for Manchester United because they know they played well, because they know they probably should have won it before it came to penalties?
I think they know that they'll be distraught now. They pushed everyone forward to try and get that winning goal in normal time. For Arsene Wenger there to mention that Man United played well, I think he knows that they were lucky to get to 0-0 and take it to penalties. And you know, it's not the luck of the draw, but you know, quality penalties from Arsenal, and fully deserving it for holding their nerve.
Manchester United have never won it back-to-back. Didn't happen today. Arsenal have their hands on the FA Cup once again. I'm glad he picked up his medal, aren't you, Reyes?
Yeah, well, I think the way football has gone, you don't have to do as much as you used to have to do to be sent off. So I think the old values have to change along with the rules. And it's a wonderful day. He's been a bright spark in football since he came. Some wonderful things he's done in the last year. And yeah, of course, good to see a guy win. I mean, he did enough out on that pitch today to deserve it for me.
Well, they've had their critics. There was a 6 or 8 week slump which cost them in the league post Old Trafford when the 49-match unbeaten run came to an end. But they finished with silverware. Nothing for Manchester United. Does that kind of sum up their season, Ted, Manchester United?
Well, you wouldn't bet on that they'd go the whole season without winning something when there's so much at stake. But I suppose it's a transitional period as well for Man United, with a couple of youngsters coming into the team with Rooney and Ronaldo, getting used to the ways of Old Trafford. But it won't do them any harm, you know, coming close to winning things, but not quite. They'll bounce back and they'll be there again next year, I'm sure.
And in many ways, the goalkeeper who at one stage this season looked surplus to requirements has turned out to be their hero today now.
Yeah, and I have to say, in that time, since he's come back, he has looked a different player. I think he sorted himself out. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. He was a little bit all over the place, blaming other people at the start of the season. The managers put Mooney in to the surprise of a lot of people, but the way he's bounced back, he's been very professional, I think. I can point out again another clean sheet with Saunders at the back. He's been phenomenal. I mean, we're talking, you know, it's been a great team effort, but most so at the back.
Thank you both, Niall Quinn and Teddy Sheringham. We've got that second leg of the League Two playoff between Southend and Northampton on the way for the right to play Lincoln. But here in Cardiff, it's been Arsenal's day, and you have to say, well played the guys.